On day 1, I spawned into the Badlands as a shapeshifter. Whoa, that's a cool special ability. I wonder how far I can go with it. But I didn't have long to think about that, because a gang of wither skeletons with bows and swords showed up and started chasing me. Darn it, I wish I could go faster, but I'm only a baby shapeshifter, and that means I've only got 3 hearts. But even though I was weak, that didn't mean I couldn't shapeshift. I hid behind a rock and turned into a rabbit. Nobody ever suspects a rabbit. The wither skeletons kept searching until they found my little rabbit self, acting casually. The leader of the wither skeletons immediately clocked me.
There he is, boys! Grab him!
The wither skeletons immediately surrounded me, giving me no chance to escape. Wait, how did you know it was me?
There are no rabbits in the Badlands. You've still got a lot to learn, shapeshifter. Let's take him to the jail.
On day 2, the wither skeletons dragged me over to the Badlands jail. You can't do this! I'm too young to go to jail! But that didn't seem to persuade them. They threw me in a cell with another prisoner, a quillbeast. I had to figure out what was going on. Hey, Mr. Quillbeast, I'm Zozo. What's your name, and what are you in for? The name's Quilliam. I don't know why I'm here. I was just wandering the Badlands when suddenly the wither skeletons arrested me and dragged me here. Don't worry, Quilliam. I have an idea for how we can both escape. No offense, Zozo, but I really don't know how a rabbit could launch a jailbreak. That's the thing. I'm not a rabbit. I'm a shapeshifter. I used my power to turn into a wither skeleton, just like the ones who ran the Badlands prison. We used one of Quilliam's quills to pick the lock, and the 2 of us walked down the hall together. Another wither skeleton stopped us on the way.
Hey, where are you 2 going?
I'm just taking this prisoner to a different cell block. Nothing to see here.
Fine, I suppose. On your way.
In my wither skeleton disguise, Quilliam and I slipped out of the Badlands prison without a second thought. That was amazing, Zozo. You saved both of us in there. These shapeshifting skills really come in handy. I can't wait to get better at them. On day 3, I decided to continue my escape and make my way into the jungle. It'd be way harder for the bad guys to find me amongst all these dense trees. But if I really want to fit in here, I can't just be a wither skeleton. I need a real jungle disguise. That's why I shapeshifted into an orangutan. Orangutan is Malay for person of the forest, so it makes for a perfect jungle disguise. All this shapeshifting was hungry work, so I explored the forest and gathered up some tasty melons to eat. Delicious and nutritious. But while foraging, I encountered a mysterious wooden villager meditating in a clearing. Sorry to interrupt you, wooden villager, but is everything okay?
Everything is more than okay, now that you're here, Zozo.
What? How did you know my name?
I know many things. I am Amma, the jungle mystic. I have long traveled this jungle in search of a hero to whom I can reveal the great truth of the world. Do you believe you are that hero?
Well, I'd like to be, for sure.
Good, then follow me. There is much to learn.
On days 4 to 5, Amma, the jungle mystic, led me deeper into the forest, where he started to explain what was going on here. So, does the problem here have to do something with the wither skeletons?
No, the wither skeletons are irrelevant to the true issue here, Zozo. You see, this forest is overrun with vicious tribal gremlins. Alone, they may not look like much, but together, they can pose a major threat. For the sake of the world's peace and safety, we must see to it that they are defeated. We have less than 100 days to exterminate them before things really get out of hand.
Wow, that sounds like a tall order. These tribal gremlins must be really scary. How should I fight them?
Don't worry about fighting them just yet. I'll be able to help you plan the best course of action. For now, take these tools and start building yourself a base.
Amma the jungle mystic gave me a set of stone tools, and I left him to go find a clearing in the jungle where I could start building my base. I immediately started cutting down trees for wood and mining for stone. My base was already coming along nicely when suddenly a wither skeleton scouting party appeared out of the woods.
He's gotta be around here somewhere. Come on, boys, let's find this slippery little crate.
I needed to think fast. Obviously, a rabbit was no good, and they'd probably be expecting another wither skeleton. What could I turn into that would save me? Oh wait, I've got it! I shapeshifted into a wither boss and floated over to the wither skeletons. What are you boys doing out here slacking off? This is unacceptable!
But boss, somebody escaped the prison. We need to go track him down.
Forget about one lousy prisoner. Go back and stand guard to make sure more don't get out. And that's an order.
Yes, with the boss, sir.
The wither skeletons turned tail and marched out of the forest. I breathed a sigh of relief, and my shapeshifting skills paid off because I earned enough XP to level up. Whoa, I have 6 hearts now, and I can shift for longer. This is awesome. On day 6 to day 8, I took the form of a baboon so I could finish building the house, and it looked amazing. I decided to explore for a bit. As I was walking through the jungle, I noticed something a little strange. Wait, where are all the animals? Is this something to do with the tribal gremlins that Amma the Jungle Mystic was telling me about? As I was gathering some coal, a stray ran past me. Whoa there, everything okay, Stray?
There's no time to talk. I need to keep running. Get out of my way!
You're safe here. Explain yourself.
My town was destroyed by the Red Nightmare and his forces. He's taking over everything. If you had any brains in that baboon head of yours, you'd run while you still can.
And then he ran off, leaving me confused. Red Nightmare? I'd never heard of that. So I decided to find Amma the Jungle Mystic again and ask him what he knew.
Ah, yes, the Red Nightmare. He's another terrible force associated with those tribal gremlins I told you about. Perhaps it's time to arm yourself against the coming struggles. If you make your way to the snowy tundras and find the Frost Weaver, you'll be able to obtain a mace by defeating it. Go now! The tribal gremlin threat advances ever closer.
On days 9 to 10, I shifted into a snow leopard so I could both move faster and stand the cold. Then I made my way out to the snowy tundra to begin my search. I'm gonna find you, Frost Weaver! But what I didn't expect was that the Frost Weaver would find me first. It was huge and ferocious, and it attacked me as soon as it saw me. He spit poison webs at me, which really slowed me down. I figure I can't ask you nicely to hand over the mace then? The Frost Weaver didn't feel like chatting with me. Instead, it relentlessly attacked, knocking off a couple of my hearts. There was no way I could defeat a monster this powerful, but to my luck, I suddenly saw a snow golem running towards me. Golems have a natural protection instinct, so I was really in luck here.
Don't worry, kid. I'll give you a hand.
The snow golem joined me in the fight, and we were able to turn the tide. Soon, the Frost Weaver was defeated, and I had picked up the special mace he dropped. Thanks for helping me there, snow golem. I really owe you one.
Think nothing of it. Why don't you come back to my cave with me? My family and I could make you some dinner.
So we traveled back to the ice cave where the snow golem and his family, some baby snow golems, lived. He gave me some mushroom stew that helped replenish my missing hearts.
I suppose you're out here fleeing from the Red Nightmare. That's why most people come to brave these frosty wastes.
The Red Nightmare? As in the tribal gremlins?
Tribal gremlins? I've never heard of any such thing. How strange.
Well, I better go ask Amma about it. Thanks for the stew. On days 11 to 12, I assumed the form of a formidable Komodo dragon and returned to my base. Amma, the jungle mystic, was waiting for me. Amma, something isn't right. I got the mace, but while I was out in the snowy tundra, I met a snow golem who knew about the Red Nightmare, but not the tribal gremlins. How could that be?
I wouldn't worry about it, Zozo. Instead, go to this cave I've marked out on your map. You can mine some iron ore there, and perhaps use it to upgrade your armor or gear. It will be vital in the coming struggles. Once you have your iron, you can begin the attack on the tribal gremlin camp to the left of here.
Okay, if you say so, Amma. Still, it's a little weird to say the least. I went to the cave that Amma marked out for me. I made my way in and started mining the iron ore. There was a decent amount of it down there, but not enough to do what I really needed. I did grab the extra coal that was there though. Then, when I left the cave, I was ambushed by a lurker, one of the nastiest little creatures in the jungle. Thank goodness I have my mace with me. With one swing of my mace, I'd smushed that nasty creature and was off on my way to the tribal gremlin camp. From day 13 to day 15, I came across a path. This must be the way to the village. I took the form of a gremlin so nobody would really notice me, and I followed the path. I arrived at the tribal gremlin camp. It was basically a huge village made of tree houses in the jungle. I was expecting it to be scary, but honestly, all the tribal gremlins seemed weirdly peaceful. I decided to talk to one of them to see what was going on. Hey, fellow gremlin, you looking forward to causing some more chaos in the forest today? He just looked confused.
Chaos? What are you talking about?
I turned and saw a very chubby, stern-looking tribal gremlin chief sitting behind me.
There will be no chaos around here, boy. We need to stay organized if we want to have any hope of defeating the Red Nightmare.
The tribal gremlins wanted to fight the Red Nightmare too? I thought they were in league with them. Nothing was making sense. I needed to go back to my base and talk to Amma the Jungle Mystic immediately. From day 16 to day 19, I returned to my base. I took the long way back through the jungle, trying to figure out some kind of reasonable explanation for what had happened. Could Amma have been lying to me this whole time? But why? When I arrived back at my base, there was a tribal gremlin waiting for me. He looked like he was in a panic.
Stranger, we need your help. Something terrible has been attacking our village.
Something terrible? I'll come right away. But by the time I arrived at the village, it looked like the worst had already happened. The village was in ruins. The tribal gremlin chief was dead. Only his mask remained. And standing in the middle of it all was Amma. Amma, how could you? The tribal gremlins are friendly and peaceful.
To you, perhaps, but to my plans, they were a frustrating inconvenience.
What do you mean, your plans?
I never told you my full name, did I? I'm a shapeshifter like you see. Some call me Amma, but my true name is Amogolish, perhaps better known as…
Suddenly, Amma shapeshifted into a huge, blood-red creature, the true Amogolish. Wait, you're the Red Nightmare?
Very clever, Zozo. I thought I could trick you into destroying the tribal gremlins for me, but it seems you're completely useless. So you can be destroyed with them!
I was so angry that I turned into a huge vile ogre and charged at Amogolish, the Red Nightmare! He would never use me to do evil! But I underestimated how strong he was. With one strike, he knocked me down from the bridge and everything faded to black. From day 20 to day 22, I woke at the bottom of what remained of the destroyed tribal gremlin village. I'd failed. I'd let them all down. But thankfully, at least some of them had survived Amogolish's monstrous attack.
But now we have no place to live. We can't just survive out here in the jungle. He'll pick us off one by one.
That's when I turned into a horse. Nobody is living out in the jungle. Hop on my back, and I'll let you come live at my base. We can work together and stop Amogolish from destroying anywhere else. One by one, I took all the remaining tribal gremlins back to my base and started building a barracks for them. If Amogolish thinks he can destroy us all, we're not gonna go down without a fight. From day 23 to day 26, I traveled out to the desert. That jungle humidity can be killer sometimes. I decided to turn myself into a roadrunner so I could run extra fast across the sand. Meep meep. It feels good to feel the wind blow between my feathers. But I had to stop when I saw a sun god being attacked by a gang of enhanced Aripedes. They must have been sent by Amogolish. Don't worry, sun god, I'm here to help. I ran in and started circling around the Aripedes, distracting them from attacking the sun god. That gave the sun god a chance.
I unleashed the power of the sun!
He sent out a powerful sunblast, hitting and vaporizing the Aripedes, and he never could have done it without me.
I never could have done it without you, Zozo. In exchange, I give you the blessing of the sun. From now on, you will be stronger and faster in daylight. You will also gain a few hearts.
That's such a cool power. Thank you, sun god. And the 2 extra hearts will come in handy.
May my blessings be with you.
From day 27 to day 31, I went back to the jungle. I missed all those lush green trees. On the way back to the base, I found some sheep wandering around the jungle. They seemed lost, so I decided to take a stone guard form and shepherd them back to my base. When they were back, I started to build a pen for them. Now I can have as much wool as I want. This is perfect. I also decided to make a bigger wall around my base to protect me, the sheep, and my tribal gremlin guests from Amogolish and his minions. Meanwhile, in Amogolish's evil lair, he was meeting with his deadliest warrior, the Behemoth, a huge demon knight.
What would you have me do, master?
I thought this Zozo could be useful, but it seems he's just a thorn in our sides. If we are to dominate this world, he and those who ally with him must be destroyed. Make it so.
Yes, my master. I will destroy him personally.
From day 32 to day 35, I decided I'd wander the plains in search of new allies and weapons. I needed to figure out how to defeat Amogolish. Because I didn't want to get attacked by any monsters on my journey, I decided to shift into a mutant skeleton. Nobody would mess with that.
Stop right there, monster.
I turned and saw a gang of armed villagers, ready to fight. They started firing arrows, and I was forced to dodge as fast as I could. Wait, stop! I'm not a monster, I'm Zozo. I'm just a shapeshifter. That got the villagers to calm down. They lowered their weapons and began to murmur amongst themselves before turning back to me.
Come with us, Zozo. We want to take you to our leader, the great King Midas, the ruler of gold.
They led me back to their village, where Midas was waiting for me in a golden throne in the middle of the village. He was certainly an impressive sight.
Ah, so my men brought you to me. There must be a reason. Why are you here, my boy?
I'm trying to find a way to slay Amalgalish and get revenge for the tribal gremlins.
Correct answer. Amalgalish, the Red Nightmare, has troubled our kingdom for generations. Me and my ancestors have tried to gather information about him for years, and I believe soon we will have the answers. When that time comes, come back to me.
From day 36 to day 39, I turned myself into a scarecrow just for fun and entered the mine in the village. I mined iron to complete my new set of tools and armor. And I got really lucky, cause it wasn't just iron ore I found, I also found some diamonds. Not enough to craft just yet, but they were definitely worth keeping in my inventory for a rainy day. Though the most exciting thing I found down in that mine shaft was a dusty old book containing an unbreakable enchantment, which would make my new items unbreakable. I crafted a full set of iron tools, iron weapons, and iron armor before returning back to my base to rest. But sadly, there would be no rest. When I got back to my base, an Aztec warrior was already there, waiting for me.
King Midas sent me to collect you. He wishes to speak to you about a truly grave matter.
Then I suppose I better come along. From day 40 to day 43, I returned to the village to meet with King Midas. I wondered what had gotten him so worried, aside from the fact that I'd now shapeshifted into a gorilla for toughness.
Zozo, I'm glad you're safe.
Of course, Your Highness. Why wouldn't I be safe?
My spies have gotten word of a terrible development in the war against Amalgalish. He has summoned his most dangerous minion, the Great Behemoth, and he has given him the instruction to destroy you personally.
Don't worry, King Midas. I've gotten a lot tougher than I used to be. I bet I could kick this behemoth guy's booty.
Why don't you say that to my face, weakling?
I turned and saw the behemoth was standing right behind me while the villagers fled in every direction. He was even bigger and tougher than I'd imagined. I charged up towards him and used all my gorilla strength to deliver a mighty punch. But the behemoth just shrugged it off. He hit me back and sent me skidding across the village square.
Take this new form, my boy, the Gold Golem, and use it in my name.
With my new gold golem strength, I pulled out my mace and attacked the behemoth. Somehow, he effortlessly blocked every hit and started rampaging around the village. I need to get out of here. I'm still not strong enough to beat even the henchmen yet. So, I fled the village while the villagers tried desperately to stop Behemoth. From day 44 to day 49, I returned to my base, feeling so ashamed of myself for running away that I turned myself into a blobfish. I don't deserve to call myself a hero. I left all those poor villagers to fend for themselves. I'm a zero. As I was moping, none other than King Midas turned up, having survived the previous battle.
Zozo, I need to call on you yet again.
I don't deserve you, King Midas. I was a coward. I ran away.
Don't focus on the past, Zozo. We're not going there. I'm here because I have some important knowledge. There are legends of a sacred item, a mithril battle axe, that can be used to defeat the Red Nightmare.
A mithril battle axe? But I already have a sword and a mace, and neither of them help.
The mithril battle axe is more than just a weapon, Zozo. It's supernatural. It can give its users immense power, even granting them wishes. But it is legendarily hard to obtain. You will either need to find one or make one from mithril ore. The mountains would be the best place to begin your search.
From day 50 to day 53, I decided to take the form of a mountain troll and go searching through the mountains for information on the mithril hammer. Maybe if I find it, I can regain my honor after running away from Behemoth. The way up the mountain was tough. At the top, I searched and searched until I found a secret cave tucked away under one of the mountains. It seemed like the kind of place where something important might be hiding away. I put up some torches to light my way inside of the cave, but sadly I didn't find any mithril or a mithril battle axe in there. But I did find a book labeled The Legend of a Mogolish. Hey, that's the guy I'm fighting. The book described how a Mogolish is an ancient evil who has tried to take over the world many times. But only someone who is of pure heart with a perfect weapon will be able to put him down for good and save everyone. Maybe I do have a shot after all. With at least some extra knowledge, I started heading back to my base. The way down was just as treacherous as the way up, but I eventually made it. When I reached the jungle again, I heard some commotion and I saw a Clink fighting a whole gang of scary jungle spiders. Don't worry, Clink, I'll help you. But by the time I reached him, he'd already defeated all the jungle spiders without breaking a sweat. He was clearly a lot stronger than I was. That was amazing, Mr. Clink. Want to come back to my base? I need someone to help train me how to fight like you.
Sorry, buddy, but I'm not the teaching type. Old Clink is too free-spirited to ever be tied down like that. Good luck with whatever you're doing, though.
From day 54 to day 57, having been rejected by Clink, I continued back to my base. Well, at least this day can't get any worse.
You have a big storm coming, Zozo.
I turned and saw that literally the last person I wanted to see right now was standing right behind me. Behemoth, a Mogolish's #1 goon. Oh no, not you again.
I believe we have some unfinished business. Square up and prepare to meet your doom.
I shifted into my gold golem form and pulled out my mace. This time, I was going to win. I charged straight at him with impressive speed, and with all my might, I swung the mace right into his face. And it had no effect. I still wasn't anywhere near strong enough to fight Behemoth, and all I could do was run away while he laughed at me. Meanwhile, back at a Mogolish's evil lair, he was receiving information from his top advisor, the impish Pixin.
Tell me, Pixin, how goes the war effort? Are our forces winning?
We've crushed resistance to the east. Our Wither Skeleton army has been successful in raiding the villages to the west. Soon, I'm sure, the north and south will fall too.
And what of Zozo? Has Behemoth destroyed that little brat yet?
Soon, my lord. Behemoth says that our mission will be even easier than he thought.
Delightful. Just delightful.
On day 58 to day 62, I returned to my base, feeling a little down in the dirt. So I turned myself into a swamp pig. I'm so ashamed of myself. It feels like I can't do anything right. But when I got back, I was so happy to see that the tribal gremlins had increased the size of my base. They built new rooms and a whole new floor.
It's the least we could do since you let us stay here with you, Zozo.
I was so touched by their kindness that I wanted to do something for them in return. I'd build a statue, but not just any statue, a tribute to the fallen tribal gremlin chief. I started collecting all the proper material when I happened upon an abandoned diamond mine out in the jungle. I wonder if there are still diamonds down there. I went in and started to mine until I finally found enough diamonds to craft a pair of diamond armor pieces, a pickaxe, helmet, pants, and some cool boots. It isn't much, but it'll certainly help. From day 63 to day 66, one of the tribal gremlins approached me.
Zozo, I think I know where you might be able to find a mithril battle axe like the one you were looking for. There's a special cave out in the desert, one that's sacred to my people. We might be able to find it together.
That sounds like an excellent idea, tribal gremlin. Let's do it. We set off together until we reached the desert. With my shape-shifting powers growing by the day, I decided to shift into a guster so I could fit into the desert environment. After 2 days of walking, we finally found the cave. It looked deep and dark, and as I stepped forward to enter, the tribal gremlin stopped me.
Wait, Zozo, I just remembered something important. You can't go in the cave. Not yet.
Well, why not? We really need that mithril battle axe, tribal gremlin.
But you need to obtain a soul heart first. I've heard legends that those who enter the cave without one lose their souls, so we need to seek one out.
Yeah, now that you mention it, that does seem like a pretty solid call. From day 67 to day 70, the tribal gremlin went home, and I continued exploring the desert, hoping to find a soul heart. It's a shame they don't just hand out those things, huh? Suddenly, I was distracted from my search as a coyote running towards me. He looked really worried.
Hey, stranger, mind lending me a hand? There's a nasty Sudaramu bothering me and my coyote brothers.
Sure thing. Maybe I can help defuse the situation. I ran after the coyote until I found a group of coyotes being attacked by a huge Pseudoramu who was clawing at them. He looked like he was in a really bad mood. Pseudoramu, stop bothering these coyotes.
Mind your own business, fool. This is between me and the coyotes.
The second you start bothering people, it is my business. Time to fight. I ran to the Pseudoramu and began to fight. He was tough, but he didn't seem like he really wanted to destroy me. He just liked fighting people. So I gave him a good fight. Every time he swung his claws at me, I was able to dodge, then hit back. My hits barely bothered him, but he seemed like he enjoyed having the exercise.
Yeah, that was a good fight. I like your style, man.
You're a pretty good fighter yourself, Pseudoramu. How about instead of fighting random coyotes, you go up against a real opponent, like helping me take on that demon, a Mogolish.
Now that sounds like a good time.
From day 71 to day 74, after not finding anything in the desert other than a cave I couldn't enter, I returned to the base, only to find that Behemoth was already there, and he was annihilating my base. By the time I got back, half of the base had been destroyed, and he was attacking the tribal gremlins trying to rest there.
Zozo, you're back. Good. I was getting bored destroying all your friends.
Behemoth, you monster! You're going down for this!
Try me.
I transformed into a Vex, pulled out my mace again, and attacked Behemoth. My rage fueled me, and this time, as I attacked him, it looked like I was actually doing some damage.
You've improved, Zozo, I'll give you that. But you're still nothing compared to me.
Behemoth hit me back, stunning me and taking down several of my hearts. And while I was stunned, he grabbed one of the tribal gremlins and ran off with him. Gremlin, no! But there was nothing I could do. After I got my strength back, I teamed up with the other gremlins to rebuild the destroyed sections of my base and create a new guard tower to watch out for any future intruders. At a Mogolish's lair, he was laughing with glee as his army of monsters and skeletons prepared themselves for the next battle.
It is almost time. Soon I will wipe out the resistance, and all will be mine.
From day 75 to day 78, King Midas once again arrived at my base, carrying a gift.
Zozo, I have heard about your recent losses and your valiant attempts to get your hands on the Mithril Battle Axe. In the meantime, please, as a token of my gratitude for all the work you've done, take this.
Oh, wow, King Midas, thank you! What is this?
It's a Sword of Undying, my old battle weapon from my adventuring days. It's not the Mithril Battle Axe, but this is a powerful, well-forged weapon. I believe Behemoth keeps his own private lair out in the plains. Perhaps you should go show him how well you can use this new weapon.
From day 79 to day 84, I arrived at Behemoth's lair out on the plains with my Sword of Undying, ready to do battle. I stormed in, ran past the skeleton soldiers, and saw that Behemoth was waiting for me.
This is it, Zozo! I've gotten bored of playing with my food. You won't be leaving this lair. And when I've destroyed you, the Master will give me power and riches.
Your creep of a master is never going to see you again, Behemoth.
Skeletons, grab this fool.
Skeletons surrounded me, but I managed to take them down without much effort. I focused on Behemoth next. Sword in hand, we fought. Behemoth was still incredibly strong, but I felt like I was finally ready to take him on. But as the fight went on, even though I was doing some good damage, Behemoth started to turn the tide. He fought harder and harder, hitting me again and again, watching my hearts drop. Even with the regeneration and extra absorption health the Sword of Undying gave me, I was still losing this fight. Everything I'd worked for was about to be for nothing.
You've been amusing, Zozo, but I won't miss you when you're gone.
Just as Behemoth was about to finish me off, one of the walls of his lair exploded, and Pseudoramu broke in to save the day.
Zozo, eat this!
He threw me a golden apple. I'd never seen one like it before, and I immediately took a bite. Immediately, everything changed. I could feel myself getting bigger and stronger, and not just regenerating hearts, but doubling them. With the 16 hearts, I shifted into Ultimate Gold Golem, and with the Pseudoramu at my side, I was ready to finish this. The two of us attacked the Behemoth together, giving him no chance to take us out. I climbed to the top of the gate wall and jumped on the Behemoth, swinging my sword at his head. He was defeated once and for all! I looked and saw that the destroyed behemoth had dropped a soul heart onto the ground.
Now that was a good fight. Say, what's that thing he dropped?
Sudaramu, that's our ticket to the big time! From day 85 to day 89, while still out in the plains, I shapeshifted into a double-headed vile ogre. I stumbled upon some clay and dug it up to use on the tribal gremlin chief statue. This is gonna look awesome, and I bet my tribal gremlin roommates will really appreciate it too. I returned to the base and completed the statue. Seeing it there inspired me and reminded me of what really mattered, all the innocent people I was fighting for. With the statue done, I set off for the desert with the behemoth soul heart in my inventory. I could finally enter the sacred cave and obtain the mithril battle axe. It would be a great day! But when I entered, things weren't so easy. There were husks everywhere, and just as I was about to clear them all, a terrifying Jabberwock jumped out of the cave and started attacking me. I needed to pull out King Midas's sword to fight him off, and even then, it wasn't easy. Feels like nothing has been easy for me these last few months. But with the Jabberwock Cave Guardian defeated, I saw it there, waiting for me. The mithril battle axe that would solve all of our problems. I picked it up and felt its power surging through my hands. Ignites and knocks back targets. Well, that is useful. Things are looking up at last. From day 90 to day 94, I emerged from the cave with the mithril battle axe, wondering what I'd use it for first, when I saw that a Mogolish was standing right in front of me.
Hello again, Zozo. Think I'd let you get away with destroying my most powerful henchman? For that, I'm going to destroy you myself.
I didn't feel like talking to this monster. Instead, with the mithril battle axe in hand, I charged at him, ready to strike. I got one hit in. He instantly hit me back and sent me flying. The hit was so hard, it knocked the battle axe right out of my hands. Before I could get up, he snatched the mithril battle axe, even though I'd only just gotten it.
You won't be needing this anymore. In fact, I think I'll make much better use of it than you ever did. Goodbye, Zozo.
There was an explosion, and the desert ground beneath me caved in, trapping me in a pit. A Mogolish disappeared, off to do something awful, no doubt. One step forward, 2 steps back. From day 95 to day 97, I needed to do something clever to escape the pit. Thankfully, this was where my shapeshifting skills came in handy again. I turned into a bald eagle and flew right out of there, heading towards King Midas's village. With the mithril battle axe lost, I needed to ask him for advice on what I should do next. But it was already too late. When I arrived at the village, I saw it had been completely ransacked. All the buildings were destroyed. I couldn't see any villagers. All that was left was King Midas, near death, next to his broken throne. I flew down and turned into a golden villager, approaching King Midas to see if there was anything I could do to help.
I'm sorry, it's already too late for me. Mogolish used the mithril battle axe to improve his power to unimaginable levels. He destroyed the entire village. You must stop him. You're our only hope.
I will stop him, King Midas. I promise. He'll pay for everything he's done. King Midas passed, and I journeyed back to my base. On day 98, I arrived back at the base and found that my worst fears had been made real. A Mogolish had come here too and destroyed everything. The base was in tatters, and most of the tribal gremlins were gone. I'd failed. I couldn't protect anybody or anyone. It seemed like a Mogolish was going to use the mithril battle axe to rule the world. I felt so terrible about myself, I shapeshifted into a cockroach. Just as I was about to give up hope, one of the last tribal gremlins approached me. I'm so sorry that I failed, tribal gremlin. I let your people down from beginning to end.
But this isn't the end, Zozo. You can't give up. If a Mogolish could use the magical axe to destroy all this, then maybe, if you get your hands on the axe, you can make it all okay again.
And in that moment, I knew that the tribal gremlin was right. If that axe could get us into this, it might be the only thing that could get us out. On day 99, I shapeshifted into King Midas himself as a tribute to the great king's legacy. As him, I approached a Mogolish's base, wielding his Sword of Undying. To my surprise, a Mogolish himself came out to meet me, holding the mithril battle axe, exactly as I'd hoped.
King Midas, this is impossible. I dealt you a lethal blow with the mithril battle axe. You must be
Zozo, and I'll be taking that axe.
Yes, to the face.
This time, Amogalish lunged at me first, upset at being tricked. But that's when I took my opportunity. As he swung the mithril battle axe, I dodged and snatched it from his hands. Thanks, Amogalish. I promise I'll bring it back. With the battle axe in hand, I ran back to my base as fast as I could, hoping that it still had some magic left over after all the damage that Amogalish had done with it. I arrived back at my base and began to wish, holding the axe tightly in my hands. I wish for all the tribal gremlins to be brought back and for my base to be fully repaired. That's all I ask for. And seconds later, the axe vanished from my hands, never to be seen again. But my wish was granted. My base was back to normal, and all the tribal gremlins had been brought back.
You saved us, Zozo. Thank you.
And now, together, we can save everyone else. Like Amogalish himself said, just one tribal gremlin doesn't count for much. But all of you together, we can bring Amogalish down for good. Let's go save the world. On day 100, I led the tribal gremlin strike force straight into Amogalish's lair. As wither skeletons poured out to fight us, the gremlins took them on.
Gremlin freedom forever!
And as the fight raged on, of course, Amogalish crawled out of his lair, ready to fight me personally.
You worthless little creature. I should have destroyed you when you were small and weak. It would have saved me a lot of trouble.
It's too late for regrets now, Amogalish. They won't do you any good.
Stubborn and arrogant to the end. Do you really think you can beat me? You're not even carrying a weapon.
I'm a shapeshifter, Amogalish. Don't you know what that means?
What?
It means I am the weapon. And with that, I turned into my final form, a giant ender dragon.
No, this can't be. It isn't fair. I can't be defeated by some other lowly shapeshifter. I'm the most powerful being in the world.
But all that complaining didn't do him any good. I unleashed my most powerful Dragon's Breath attack on him, and by the time I was done, there was nothing left. Amogalish was defeated! And once the tribal gremlins were done defeating the last of the wither skeletons, the world could finally be at peace once again. On day 1, I spawned in as Demon Steve with 5 hearts. Oh wow, Demon Steve? Maybe this means I should cause some mischief. Nothing too serious, of course, just some fun little pranks. But I probably shouldn't have said that out loud, because as soon as I did, a huge iron golem knight came barreling towards me across the prairie. He was easily twice my size and scarily fast for how big he was.
Halt, foul demon! You have no business in these lands. I will destroy you now, for I am the brave knight, Sir Slashalot, and it is my duty to destroy evil.
Wait, I'm not evil. I'm just a little mischievous. I don't deserve to be destroyed.
All demons deserve to be destroyed, and I have made it my life's mission to do so. It's why I'm the good guy here. Now have at thee. It's time to meet your doom, demon.
Sir Slashalot didn't waste any time. He immediately tried to slash me in half. I guess that's how he got his name, so I tried to hit him back. When I hit him, he took some fire damage. That must mean that as a demon, my punches have a natural fire aspect enchantment. That's so cool! But I was still no match for the knight. I made a run for it, further into the prairie, until I couldn't see him anymore. I stopped for a moment to rest. Jeez, it isn't easy being a demon. Then, I was attacked by a bunch of fallen soldiers with a bone to pick. Thankfully, my fire punches were really helpful in defeating them before they could deal me any real damage. After they were finished, I found some shelter under a tree to finally get some sleep. I guess people really hate demons in this world. I wonder if I can still get by, even if nobody believes in me here. On day 2, I decided that if nobody was going to take care of me, I'd at least take care of myself. I punched down some trees with my powerful fire punch and used the remains to build myself a wooden pickaxe. This was perfect for digging into the ground and getting enough stone to build a complete stone tool set, including a stone sword. Now I'm ready to explore the world, and maybe do a little demon pranking too. I traveled from the prairie to the Red Rock Valley, which seemed like a fun place for a demon to hang out. Once I arrived, I found a nice clear area where I'd have plenty of space to build a base. I used some of the material I collected to start building a cool little demon pad where I could hang out and avoid Sir Slashalot and his men. It was pretty basic at first, with only a room to sleep and a room to hang out in, but when it was done, I took in all my hard work and felt happy. Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home. And clearly, my building attracted some attention because I was soon attacked by a roving concrete golem. We fought, and believe me, he was as tough as, well, concrete. But in the end, I managed to get the upper hand and defeat him. But it made me realize how strong stone could be. Using a crafting bench I added to my base, I decided to build myself a full set of stone armor. Sometimes the best offense is a good defense. With all this work done, I added a bed to my bedroom and settled down to sleep. On day 3, I traveled from the Red Rock Valley over to the forest where I could collect some more wooden blocks for my base. Even when you're a demon, you just can't beat the class of hardwood flooring. I cut down a few trees and collected all the wood blocks. Just when I was about to take the rest of the day off, a behemoth suddenly ran out of the woods and started attacking me. This is the last thing I need today. I equipped my sword and started fighting back. But even with my demon strength, I was still too weak to go toe-to-toe with him. Instead, I turned around and made a run for it, traveling deeper into the forest. That's when I ran into a hellhound. Hey, hellhound, I'm Zozo, and I'm a demonic creature too. What are you doing all the way out here in the forest?
Probably the same thing you're doing, trying to avoid Sir Slashlot and his band of not-so-merry knights. They've been coming down hard on anything even vaguely demonic. I lost one of my hellhound brothers to his raids.
Oh no, that's awful! Tell you what, hellhound, I think we should stick together. Come stay at my base with me. There's safety in numbers, right?
Huh, that sounds like a pretty good idea. Lead the way, Zozo.
From day 4 to day 5, I returned to the base in the Red Rock Valley with my new friend, the Hellhound. Because he probably didn't want to sleep in my room with me, I instead started building a kennel where he could live. One that would suit his needs perfectly. By the time it was done, it looked like the Hellhound could settle in nicely. It was a job well done. But sadly, it wasn't time for me to rest just yet, because I saw a High Reaver skulking around the outside of my base. He was someone I needed to deal with before things got too out of hand. No trespassers allowed, Reaver! I ran out and fought him with my stone sword, surprising him with how tough I was, even though I wasn't that experienced. It must have been that demon confidence serving me well. Soon enough, the High Reaver was defeated, and he left me a gift. A bow dropped to the ground, ripe for the taking. So I did. Now I have a long-range attack too. This is perfect. From day 6 to day 8, I went out to the plains in search of more resources. If nothing else, I could probably find some more stone to make my base bigger. However, while I was out there, just minding my own business, I was suddenly ambushed by Sir Slashlot himself. Uh-oh.
You thought you could escape me, foolish demon? But nobody escapes Sir Slashlot. It is my righteous purpose to hunt down and slay every single one of you. And now, with my new divine blade, which is extra dangerous to demonic beings, I'll finally be able to carry out my mission.
Sure, but you'll have to catch me first. I ran as fast as I could, while the crazed Sir Slashlot chased me. As I ran, I knew that I'd have no hope of stopping him. For now, the best I could do to survive was just run away as fast as I could and hope that he didn't catch me. During the chase, I even ran out of the plains and into the cover of the forest. Sir Slashlot kept chasing me, but I'd built enough distance between us to hide behind a tree. I stayed very still and very quiet while Sir Slashlot searched. To my relief, he didn't seem to find me.
You can't hide forever, demon. I'll search for you to the ends of the earth and back if I have to. Even if you hide in the deepest cracks and crannies of the nether or the dark mists of the end, mark my words, I will find you and I will destroy you.
After that, Sir Slashlot left. I was safe again, for now. He was right though, I couldn't hide from him forever. I needed to get stronger, I needed to defeat him. From day 9 to day 10, I returned to my base and wondered what I could do to start getting stronger, strong enough to take on Sir Slashlot. I went into the Hellhound's kennel to ask him for some ideas on what to do.
I think maybe you need some inspiration, Zozo. You're getting too stuck in your head about all this. If you want to be big and strong, you need to picture it. Maybe start building a statue of what you'd like to be like.
Oh, that's a really neat idea, Hellhound. I'm gonna get right on it. I collected some material from the area around my base and cleared a plot of land for me to start building my statue. I wanted to build a statue of a huge, powerful winged demon, just like I wanted to be after all my training. Once I'd laid the foundations and made the start of my statue, I went back to my base and decided to make a fireplace. After all, demons love fire. As soon as it was done, I sat back and warmed myself with the flames. Maybe everything would turn out to be alright in the end, if I tried my hardest. From day 11 to day 12, I went further than I'd ever gone before, venturing into the dark depths of the Black Forest, not knowing what I might find in there. I hoped, at least, that I wouldn't find Sir Slash-a-Lot waiting for me. Instead, I ran into a Gorgon. She was warming herself next to a campfire she'd built, and she noticed me as I approached.
Who goes there? Are you here to interfere with me? If you come any closer, I'll turn you to stone.
Wait, hold on a second. I'm not here to interfere with anyone. I'm just out here trying to avoid Sir Slash-a-Lot. He's been on my tail for almost 2 weeks now.
Ah, Sir Slash-a-Lot. That makes sense. He's been making trouble around the overworld for decades now. I've been around for all of it, and it seems he's only getting worse.
Worse? You seem to know a lot, Miss Gorgon. Can you maybe tell me where Sir Slash-a-Lot came from?
Well, long ago there was a village that was often under attack by demons and other demonic creatures. In order to protect the village, a powerful wizard created his special night version of an iron golem. His purpose was to protect the villagers by destroying demons. But there was a problem, you see. Over time, the relations between the village and the demons smoothed over. Some demons even chose to live peacefully among the villagers. But this special iron golem, he didn't know how to take this. He wasn't even built to imagine that humans and demons could ever get along. So he went mad, and in his madness he destroyed the entire village, leaving no demons or villagers left. Now he roves the world, picking up others who share his mission, with the goal of eliminating demons and any who are kind to them. If you want to defeat him, you're going to need everything you've got, Zozo.
From day 13 to day 15, with the story the Gorgon told me still ringing through my mind, I decided I needed to stand up for myself and settle an old score. I went back to the forest where I'd first met my friend the Hellhound, and I hunted down the behemoth that had given me so much trouble the first time I got there. But this time, I decided to try a different tactic. Rather than engaging directly, I took out the bow I'd taken from the High Reaver and took the behemoth on from a distance. This time, it only took a few well-placed arrows to defeat the beast, and the XP it gave me let me level up. I got bigger, stronger, and got 15 hearts. Oh wow, and what's this new ability? I could now draw on my demon powers to use a ranged fireball attack. It took a lot of energy, so I couldn't use it often, but it was still a really cool power to have in my back pocket just in case. From day 16 to day 19, after deciding this would be a great time to invest in some upgrades for all my equipment, I started mining underground, searching for some veins of iron ore. But during my search, I also found a bunch of nasty cave spiders who weren't eager to have company. Looks like I gotta do a little pest control down here. I unleashed a fireball that blasted most of the cave spiders immediately. The last couple ran away after that, not wanting to get in any more trouble with me. Sometimes, being a demon can have its perks. I searched deeper until I found some veins of iron ore, mined them, and collected them. Then I took them back to my base for crafting. I built a furnace on my base and used it to smelt the iron ore into iron ingots. Then, with the help of a little extra wood, I made myself a full set of iron gear, including an iron pickaxe, a shield, and an iron sword. Now I've got an iron will and an iron loadout. From day 20 to day 22, I was chilling at my base when suddenly Hellhound ran in to warn me about something. He looked worried and frantic. What's going on, Hellhound?
Zozo, it's an emergency! Sir Slash-a-Lot is outside right now. You need to go stop him or he'll destroy the whole base.
There was no time to waste. I equipped my iron sword and shield and ran out to face Sir Slash-a-Lot, who was waiting for me at the base's entrance.
Impressive! I was worried you wouldn't even come face me, demon. Perhaps you're a little less cowardly than I thought.
I'm no coward, Sir Slash-a-Lot, but I also don't want to fight you unless I absolutely have to. You're making a big mistake trying to destroy all the demons. Most of us are just trying to get by.
I don't believe you, demon! You're just trying to trick me, but I won't fall for it! I'll destroy every last one of you!
With that, Sir Slash-a-Lot attacked me, and I fought back! Even though his divine sword was powerful, my shield helped me block a lot of the damage, and my iron sword was a formidable weapon. Despite this, I started to get worried that I might lose the fight, so I pulled out the big guns and hit him with a fireball. That made him stop fighting me and fall back.
This isn't over, Zozo. I will return and slay you and all the rest.
After that, he ran away. I felt lucky to be alive after such an intense fight, but for a second there, it felt like I really had him on the ropes. If I keep training and upgrading my gear, maybe I can truly defeat Sir Slashlot and his evil forces. From day 23 to day 26, I went underground to search for some new, interesting materials and found myself in the middle of the lush caves. This is great! Demons naturally love being underground, so this suits me just fine. As I searched, I found something extremely valuable. A protection enchantment. This would help me protect myself and ward off attacks from Sir Slashlot. And if you want to protect yourself from boredom, believe me, the best way to do it is to search ZO in your search bar for more exciting Zozo adventures. From day 27 to day 31, I continued to work on my statue. It was looking pretty good if I do say so myself, but I couldn't shake this feeling that something was missing. Oh, I know. This statue needs some red terracotta. I'll go to the eroded Badlands to find some. So I grabbed my gear and left my base, making my way out to the eroded Badlands to hunt for some new material. I hadn't heard from Sir Slashlot in days, so I was feeling pretty good about my progress. I eventually reached an area where there was plenty of red terracotta, but just by luck, there was a gang of mutant hoglins guarding it. I needed to do some battling today after all. Ready to see how a demon fights hoglins? I ran in with my sword and shield, blocking their attacks and returning mine. It didn't take me long to defeat the entire group, then collect all the material I needed for the next part of my statue. Come to Zozo. After collecting all the material, I went back to my base and continued working on the statue. It was coming along great. From day 32 to day 35, I decided it was time to go and explore a biome I'd never been to before, the Snowy Plains. Demons don't naturally like the cold, so I figured being out in the snow would help me toughen up to fight Sir Slashlot. And that toughness was about to come in majorly handy because it didn't take long for a big, nasty snow golem to run in, ready for a fight. Ready to kick some frosty butt, I pulled out my sword and took him on. He had the home field advantage, but I wouldn't give up. Soon enough, I was able to take him down with my sword. Once I defeated the snow golem, I kept moving until I ran into a crying snow fox standing in the middle of the snow. What's wrong, little snow fox?
The Dread Lich of the Snowy Plains stole my favorite guitar, and he wouldn't give it back. I'm not strong enough to fight him myself, so I don't know what to do.
Don't worry, little snow fox. I may be a demon, but I'm a helpful demon, so I'll go get your guitar back, or my name isn't Zozo.
Oh, thank you so much, Zozo. You're amazing.
From day 36 to day 39, I took some directions from the sad snow fox and ventured deeper into the snowy plains to find the Dread Lich. It didn't take me long because I could hear his terrible, out-of-tune guitar playing before I even ran into him. I hid behind a rock and watched as the Dread Lich played the guitar badly, but even if he was a bad guitar player, he still looked pretty tough. From here, I could also see he was keeping an innocent green pixie in a cage too. This guy was the master of taking things that didn't belong to him. At least he seemed pretty distracted by talking to the pixie.
So, what do you think? Pretty sick track, right? I told you it was foolish not to accept my invitation into my band. We're gonna be the next One Direction.
The only direction I want to go is out of here, Dread Lich.
An encore, you say? Coming right up.
Please, no.
Just like that, I formulated my plan. Using their sound as a distraction, I'd run right in, defeat the Dread Lich, free the green pixie, and get the snow fox's guitar back. From day 40 to day 43, I put my plan into action. It was time to make it all happen. While the Dread Lich was jamming out, terribly, in case you've forgotten, I snuck up behind him and prepared to strike him with my sword. But he spun around and hit me with his stolen guitar. It really hurt.
How dare you interrupt my band practice, little demon? Me and the green pixie were on the verge of riding our Sgt. Pepper, but you just disrupted the flow.
He's lying. He kidnapped me. Please help me out of here.
Silence, or I'll do scales again.
Oh goodness, please, no!
Before he could play any more terrible songs, I blasted a fireball at the Dread Lich. After that, he started attacking me again, but this time I was ready to fight back. I used my sword and my shield, timing my blocks and attack perfectly. Soon, the Dread Lich was no more, and I used my sword to break open the green pixie's cage.
I'm free! I'm free! Thank you, Zozo. I'll never forget this. I feel so grateful I'll never have to listen to the Dreadlich's lousy guitar playing again. I'm really more of a hip-hop and R&B fan at heart.
With the Dreadlich defeated and the green pixie freed, I traveled across the snowy plains again until I reached the Snow Fox. I found your guitar, little guy. It's super cool, and actually a really effective weapon, too.
Thank you so much for getting it back for me, Zozo. I trust you, so you're welcome to borrow it if you want.
That's so kind. How about you come live at my base for a while, too, just so you have somewhere safe to stay.
That sounds like an awesome idea.
From day 44 to day 49, I returned to my base with the Snow Fox behind me, practicing on the sick guitar that he'd loaned me. It's true what they say, demons are just naturally better at music. It must be why we make so many crossroads deals with famous musicians. I made a few upgrades to my base, including building a whole new room that the Snow Fox could sleep in while he was staying with me.
This is such a cool room. Thanks, Zozo. I think I'm gonna really enjoy my time staying here.
No problem, Snow Fox. You're always welcome here. And with the Snow Fox settling down, I decided to finish up day 49 by working on the statue. It was really coming along. I think things are about to get a whole lot better. From day 50 to day 53, things got a whole lot worse. Sir Slashalot returned to my base, and this time he brought friends, a group of Dread Knights.
You've tested me for too long, Zozo. Now I'm going to have to get serious with you. These Dread Knights are completely devoted to my cause of wiping out every demon. What better place to start than with the most annoying one of all, you!
With that, the Dread Knights advanced towards me while Sir Slashalot stood back and watched. I refused to be defeated in front of him. I'll take you all on! And I did! As the Dread Knights poured in, I shot a fireball and fought them all. One by one, I took them all out until none were left. By that time, Sir Slashalot was already gone. This battle gave me enough XP to level up once again. I got bigger, stronger, and now I had 30 hearts too. Not to mention a new power, Demon Skin, which made me completely immune to fire and lava damage. This is awesome! I can't believe that actually went well for me. But not everything was as peachy keen as I thought. Suddenly, the Snow Fox came running towards me.
Zozo, I have bad news. I can't find the Hellhound anywhere. I think Sir Slashalot's Dread Knights might have just been a distraction for him to kidnap Hellhound.
Oh no, this is horrible! We need to get him back as quickly as possible! From day 54 to day 57, I repaired some of the parts of my base that had been damaged during my battle with the Dread Knights. Then I started building a stronger, taller perimeter wall, so if Sir Slashalot tried attacking my base again, it wouldn't be so easy for him. Once I'd finished making the proper tweaks and upgrades to my base, I knew exactly what I needed to do next. Go back to the Black Forest and speak to the Gorgon. She seems like she really knows a lot about Sir Slashalot in his past, so maybe she can help me. I journeyed out into the Black Forest as quickly as I could, knowing that every second counted while Sir Slashalot and his men had the Hellhound captive. Luckily, I found the Gorgon in the exact same place, chilling out around a campfire.
Oh, Demon Boy, you again. Is there something I can do for you, or are you just here to warm yourself by the fire?
It's an emergency, Miss Gorgon. My friend, the Hellhound, has been kidnapped by Sir Slashalot and his forces. I have no idea where he's taken them. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, in the early days of his rampages, Sir Slashalot and his men would just rove from place to place, taking on different villages and bases as they went. But eventually, too many people started to band together and fight back. It was around that time that Sir Slashalot started building Castle Slashalot in the east. It was a dangerous castle with an extensive set of dungeons underneath. If your friend is still alive and being kept anywhere, I'd wager that it's probably there.
Castle Slashalot in the east. That's exactly where I'll go. Thanks again for the help, Miss Gorgon.
No problem, kid. And hey, when you're finally fighting old Slashalot, be sure to give him an extra wallop for me, will ya?
Will do. From day 58 to day 62, I knew that I needed to upgrade my gear if I wanted any hope of surviving a journey into Castle Slashalot. I found the nearest diamond mine and ventured inside with my iron sword and pickaxe at the ready. Of course, it would never be as simple as just waltzing in there, grabbing some diamonds, and leaving. There were some skeletons in there waiting for me, and they didn't seem all that friendly. And I'm guessing you guys won't just let me through because I'm in a hurry today? They didn't respond, they just attacked me. So to keep them at bay, I blasted them with a fireball and attacked the rest with my sword. It didn't take me long to defeat all those skellies. I then pulled out my iron pickaxe and started mining for dear life until I'd collected a whole bunch of diamonds. Then I returned to my base to do some crafting and forging. I combined my diamonds with some wood I'd gathered and created a diamond pickaxe, diamond sword, and some diamond armor. Now I felt like I was ready for anything! From day 63 to day 66, after all this hard work and upgrading, I was almost ready to storm the dungeons of Castle Slashalot and rescue Hellhound. But first, to make sure my head was in the right space, I did a little more work on the statue. Seeing the big, strong demon I was building helped motivate me to know what really mattered. Getting big enough and strong enough to beat Sir Slashalot and save my friends. And if you want to help me on my mission to make friends, get strong, build cool bases, and defeat evil bad guys, hit subscribe and ring the little bell so you can join me on all of my exciting adventures. From day 67 to day 70, with my new power and diamond equipment, I knew that it was time to make my way to Castle Slashalot and rescue Hellhound from the evil knight's clutches. I traveled east, following the Gorgon's instructions until I saw a sinister castle on the horizon and just knew that it had to be Castle Slashalot. And when I got closer and saw that the building was surrounded by Dread Knight guards, my suspicions were confirmed. I knew that Hellhound and Sir Slashalot were somewhere inside. I guess the only way in is just to fight my way through, but I need to be smart about this. I'll save my fireball power for Slashalot himself when I'm inside. First, I pulled out my bow and started firing at the Dread Knights. This took out a few of them and alerted the others to my position. It was time to fight up close and personal. I pulled out my diamond sword and ran into the battle, fighting off as many Dread Knights as I could. Thankfully, my diamond armor helped deflect the worst of their blows. Once all the Dread Knights were defeated, I ran into Castle Slashalot, searching for wherever I could find Hellhound. That's when I saw a tunnel that seemed to be leading deep into the ground. It must be the tunnel down into the dungeon. I need to get down there and save him. So I steeled myself and ran down into the dungeon, ready to do whatever I needed to save my friend. From day 71 to day 74, I entered the dungeon, searching for Hellhound. I saw a bunch of cells lining the walls, all empty, except one of them. And of course, that one cell had Hellhound waiting for me in it. He seemed so happy to see me there.
Zozo, it's you! Thank you for coming to save me!
Of course I'd save you, Hellhound. You're one of my best friends. Now stand back. I'm gonna bust you out of here. Hellhound stood back, and I used my diamond sword to smash open the door to his cell. Head back to the base, Hellhound. I'm gonna keep fighting my way through. Sir Slashalot can't keep getting away with all this. He needs to be defeated, here and now.
Good luck, Zozo. I know that if anyone could take down that monster, it's you!
With Hellhound released to safety, I could comfortably focus on my next mission, taking down the big boss. I continued to explore the dungeon. During my journey, more Dread Knights emerged and started attacking me. Lucky for me, with all my weapons and gear, they really weren't hard for me to defeat. Sir Slashalot should really start employing some tougher guys. These Dread Knights aren't even a challenge anymore. He should rename them Mild and Convenience Knights. Once the Dread Knights were defeated, I found a chest buried deep in the dungeons, containing one truly awesome item, a dragon bone sword. This is an even better weapon for a demon than a diamond sword. Using this, Sir Slashalot doesn't stand a chance against me. With my brand new sword, I kept searching until I saw an unfamiliar door. This must have been one that led directly into Castle Slashalot's inner sanctum. Hope you're ready, Slashalot. This is one demon you can't get rid of. From day 75 to day 78, I entered the first chamber of Castle Slashalot's inner sanctum and found that the diabolical knight himself was waiting for me.
Foul demon! You have defiled my castle with your presence, and you have taken my precious dragonbone sword from the dungeon. You've destroyed scores of my men, and worst of all, you've committed crimes against nature by existing as a demon. Is there anything in your vast list of crimes that I'm forgetting?
I think you're forgetting that time I hit you with a fireball, maybe?
What? I don't remember such an event.
Oh shoot, my bad. Sorry, I think I must have been thinking about it right now. I fired a fireball at Sir Slashalot, stunning him. That gave me a perfect opening. I ran in with my new Dragonbone sword at the ready and started attacking, hitting him again and again and again, not even giving him time to fight back. I could tell that Sir Slashlot was badly injured by my attack because he retreated away from me, holding a defensive position.
You got lucky, Zozo, but you won't get lucky again!
Luck has nothing to do with it, Slashalot. You just made the mistake of assuming that a demon could never be stronger than you, and that's why you're paying the price.
You insolent little rat, I'll show you!
Then Sir Slashalot turned around and ran, and all I could do was try to chase him. From day 79 to day 84, I chased the wounded Sir Slashalot deeper into his inner sanctum, ready to finish this once and for all. But of course, I should have known that it would never be so easy. As soon as I caught up to him, I could see that Sir Slashalot wasn't running anymore. He was just standing there, watching me.
I have to hand it to you, demon. You've really pushed me to my limit here. And the Dragonbone sword was a particularly ingenious touch. But I have one last trick still up my sleeve. Don't get scared now, Zozo.
Suddenly, Sir Slashalot began to glow and transform. He became a bigger, more imposing version of himself. What? I don't understand.
You don't need to understand, Zozo. You need only tremble before me. This is my final form, Ultimate Demon Crusader Sir Slashalot. Are you ready to meet your doom, Zozo?
For the first time in a while, I felt truly afraid. All I could do was turn and run out of the inner sanctum in shame. Once again, I wasn't ready to face him. From day 85 to day 89, I returned to my base, feeling really down after not being able to defeat Sir Slashalot in his new, more powerful form. I was lying in my bed, too depressed to even think about getting up and fighting, when I remembered something. My statue outside. It was almost finished. Even if I couldn't defeat Sir Slashalot, the least I could do is go out there and finish my statue. So that's what I did. I went outside, and using the rest of my gathered materials, I finished my statue. It looked magnificent. That strong, powerful demon. It reminded me of something important. If I keep trying and didn't give up, I could be that strong and even defeat Sir Slashalot in his stronger form. Just as I was starting to get my hope back, Hellhound approached me with some more good news.
Zozo, you seem down, so I wanted to do something nice for you, since you rescued me from Sir Slashalot. I upgraded your sword. It's not just any Dragonbone sword anymore. It's a flamed Dragonbone sword.
Oh my goodness, Hellhound, this is amazing! And it looks so much more powerful than my old sword.
To unlock its true power, you need to journey into the Nether's Crimson Forest and find the Fire Aspect enchantment. That will give you the punch you need to teach that armored bully some manners.
From day 90 to day 94, I left my base and ventured out into a forest to the west after hearing rumors that there was a working nether portal somewhere deep in the woods. After searching for 2 whole days, I eventually found it, exactly what I needed. Guess it's now or never. I'm so glad nobody was here to hear that. I hopped into the portal and was immediately transported into the nether. Following the Hellhound's instructions, I kept searching until I found the Crimson Forest and kept a low profile to avoid upsetting some of the less friendly nether dwellers. Wow, this doesn't seem like a particularly nice neighborhood. Thankfully, nobody spotted me and decided to pick a fight. Instead, I just kept searching until I found an old chest hidden in the woods, containing a book that had all the details of the Fire Aspect enchantment. Jackpot! Oh hey, what's that over there? I noticed a block with a strange color in the ground. It took me a second to realize what I was looking at. Ancient debris, one of the rarest blocks out there. Lucky for me, I already had my diamond pickaxe, which is the only thing that can mine ancient debris. I immediately started mining and picked up as many ancient debris blocks as I could carry. This is exactly what I need to give me an edge in the final battle. There's hope for me yet. From day 95 to day 97, I returned to my base one more time to make the final upgrades needed. Gathering that ancient debris was incredibly helpful because it would give me the ability to create some of the most powerful armor out there, even stronger than diamond. I took the ancient debris to my smelting furnace and smelted it until I had some nether scraps. That was the first stage of the process. Then, I looked through my storage until I found some gold ingots, exactly what I needed. I crafted them together to make some handy netherite ingots, which I then fused with the diamond armor I created earlier. The result? netherite armor, some of the strongest armor there is, straight from the nether, and perfect for a demon like me. Let's see if Sir Slashalot can even put a scratch on me like this. But I wasn't done yet. Next, it was time to enchant. I created the Unbreakable enchantment, one for each piece of my armor and for my prized weapon, the Flamed Dragonbone Sword. Then, just in case things went south during the battle, I crafted a few healing potions, just in case I needed them. Before I set off to do what I needed to do, the Hellhound approached me one more time to offer some words of advice.
And remember, wait until just before the fight to activate your fire aspect and reach full power. He'll never expect it that way. You'll take him by surprise.
Thank you for all of your help, Hellhound. I never could have gotten this far without you.
Don't mention it, Zozo. I'd do it all again. Now get out there and show that rust bucket what we demons are made of.
On day 98, I reached the outside of Castle Slashalot once more, and this time I wouldn't chicken out. I'd take him on and defeat him once and for all. Do you believe I can do it? Let me know down there in the comments, along with whatever adventure you'd like me to take next. And be sure to search Zozo for more exciting Minecraft videos. On day 99, I returned to the place that I'd once run from, Castle Slashalot's inner sanctum. The way in wasn't even guarded, so I knew that Sir Slashalot in his ultimate Demon Crusader form wanted to defeat me himself. That was a mistake I'd make him regret. I entered and saw him standing there, waiting for me. He didn't even seem intimidated, but then again, neither was I. It was the final standoff.
We meet again, demon. This time, are you ready to accept your defeat with some dignity?
Funny, I was just about to ask you the same thing.
Such a sad comeback. Do you really think you can defeat me like this, Zozo?
Perhaps not, but how about like this? I activated my Fire Aspect enchantment and began my own final upgrade. I became a huge, powerful demon, just like the one I'd built my statue around, with a mighty 100 hearts. I wielded my flamed dragonbone sword, ready to bring this to an end. I could feel the anger coming off of Sir Slashalot as I squared up to him.
Typical. Cheating demon. Can't fight fair to save his life.
Man, I'm getting so sick of hearing you talk. We clashed for the last time, but now I was ready. As Sir Slashalot tried to attack me, I was fast and strong enough to block. And in the end, one decisive blow brought the evil knight down.
I can't believe it. Defeated by a worthless demon. What a humiliating way to go.
I punched him one last time, and then he was gone. On day 100, I returned to the base, having finally defeated Sir Slashalot and ended the threat that faced all demons and those who were kind to them. I met back up with the Hellhound and the Snow Fox, who'd been with me through all of this, and I used the Snow Fox's guitar to play us a rad victory song. Life was sweet once again. On day 1, I spawned into a small village next to the bayou as myself. I'm just a little baby Zozo. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. Something has got to be going on here. I turned and looked at the village around me, trying to spot if anything was out of the ordinary. Nope, there was just a handful of villagers walking around, minding their own business. It's quiet. Too quiet. I don't trust this one bit. And my suspicions were confirmed when I saw a strange shape wandering into the village. It was a Warden Enderman. I'd never seen one before, so I decided to go and talk to him. Hey, Mr. Warden Enderman, I'm Zozo. Are you okay? You're not looking too good.
Sick. I feel sick. Help me.
I'm not sure I'm the right person for that. Maybe you should see a doctor or something?
Help me.
The Warden Enderman stepped forward and touched one of the villagers. Poof! He was immediately transformed into a vicious warden! What? How is that even possible? Suddenly, all of the villagers in the small village started transforming into wardens. It was like there was some kind of warden virus spreading. I need to get out of here. I ran out of the village as fast as I could before any of the wardens had a chance to sonic boom me. Whatever was going on, I needed to stop it, quickly. On day 2, I carried on running out of the village until I was deep in the bayou. It's like I'm trapped in some kind of horror movie. And with only 5 hearts, too. At least I'm safe out here. I can't see any wardens anywhere. But I spoke too soon. It seemed that as soon as I said something out loud, wardens started to surround me. Oh no, it looks like every mob is a warden here! With 5 hearts and no weapons, I knew that I didn't stand a chance against these monsters! I needed to get out of there, so I ran further into the bayou as fast as I could until I couldn't see the wardens behind me. Oh gosh, they could be anywhere! This is so spooky! Another figure came towards me out of the dark. For a second, I panicked until I saw with relief that it was a crimson wizard, not a warden.
Are you infected?
What?
We haven't much time. Did Patient Zero touch you? Are you infected, boy?
Patient Zero? Is that the long, lanky guy who can turn people into wardens by touching them?
Yes, that's him. Good. You're not infected then, but you won't be safe here for long. Follow me if you want to stay human.
That was an offer I couldn't turn down. I followed the Crimson Wizard deeper into the bayou, hopefully away from all the wardens chasing us. On day 3, the Crimson Wizard led me to a hideout in the bayou where he said a friend of his was living.
This is the Wood Villager's domain. He's a good man and a valuable ally in these times, but he's not very trusting.
When we arrived, we stopped outside the hideout, and the Wood Villager came out to meet us.
Crimson, this new guy, is he infected? Because if he's infected, I don't want him or you anywhere near this place.
Don't worry, Wood. He's clean. If he'd had any contact with Patient Zero, he would have been turned already.
Good. All healthy. Let's keep it that way. What's your name, kid?
I'm Zozo. Could you please explain to me what's going on here?
Simple. The event I've been predicting for years. The Warden apocalypse. If we don't stay safe, everyone in the world could be turned into wardens, and those left will be destroyed by them.
But why? What's causing this?
We're not quite sure. We know it's infectious, and we know the Warden Enderman we call Patient Zero is part of it, but otherwise, we haven't a clue. But if we could find out what's causing the Warden apocalypse, we might be able to stop it.
Then I guess that's exactly what we've got to do. Come with me, Crimson Wizard. Together, we're gonna figure out the secrets of the Warden apocalypse and stop it all together. But first, let's get out of this bayou. It's giving me the creeps. We had our mission. The Crimson Wizard followed me out of the bayou. Together, we needed to solve the mystery and save the world. From day 4 to day 5, the Crimson Wizard and I headed out to the Borealis Grove, which seemed like a nicer place with fewer wardens, where we could build a really cool base. But before we can build an awesome warden defense base, we need some tools. I punched down some trees and turned the wood blocks into wood planks so I could make a crafting table. I then used my crafting table and my spare wood to build my first wooden pickaxe. And we all know there's only one thing that a wooden pickaxe is good for: building a stone pickaxe. I mined some stone and crafted a full set of stone tools and even a stone sword. That's when the Crimson Wizard approached me.
Here, Zozo, take some of these strings. You should really use these and some sticks to build a bow. We don't know how infectious the Warden virus is, so you should only take wardens on at long range.
Great advice, Crimson Wizard. Thank you. I crafted myself a handy bow and then started to work on my base. It was basic at first, just a room for me and a room for the Crimson Wizard. But I also decided to build a furnace next to the base to make some smelting easier later. Once it was done, me and the Crimson Wizard admired all my hard work.
It's a good start, Zozo. We just need to keep developing it from here.
But the day wasn't all building and fun. Before the sun went down, a couple of wardens came towards the base out of the nearby trees. Lucky I've got my trusty bow. Take that! I used my bow to take out the 2 wardens without the risk of infection. What a relief! And defeating them gave me the XP to level up, getting bigger, stronger, and now having 10 hearts. My chances of survival just went up. From day 6 to day 8, with a basic base built and a basic set of weapons and tools crafted, I decided to venture out into another biome, the Black Forest, to look for clues behind what was causing the Warden apocalypse. Jeez, this forest is creepy enough without having to worry about the Warden virus. That's when I saw a forest guardian being hassled by a pair of wardens. They looked like they might be about to hit him with their sonic boom power, and I definitely couldn't let that happen. Get away from him, wardens! I pulled out my bow and shot at the wardens until they were defeated. Then I went in to check if the Forest Guardian was okay. Are you okay, Forest Guardian?
Yes, I am, thanks to you. It was horrible. Those creatures were my friends once, before they turned into wardens. Something nightmarish is happening in the overworld.
The Warden apocalypse! I'm trying to stop it. Is there anything you could tell me that might help me get to the bottom of this?
Yes, perhaps. But there's an even worse infection further into my beloved forest. Come help me with that, then I'll tell you everything I know.
From day 9 to day 10, the forest guardian and I went deeper into the Black Forest until we found a grove positively full of deadly wardens. Wow, this is a real infestation! I better take them out quick before it gets even worse. But of course, taking out the wardens was a lot easier said than done, especially because there were just so many of them. The second I fired an arrow at one of them, all the others were immediately alerted. They turned and started coming towards me. One of them even fired a sonic boom, staggering me and knocking off a few of my hearts. It was clear I wasn't strong or skilled enough to fight them yet, and I definitely didn't want them to touch me, so I really needed to get out of there. I ran off, leaving the wardens behind. Once they'd finally stopped chasing me, I ran into the Forest Guardian again. I'm so sorry, Forest Guardian. There were just too many of them. I couldn't do it.
It's okay, Zozo. You tried your best. I'm just glad you weren't infected.
I promise, we'll come back and solve this. We'll solve everything. Want to come back with me to my base in the meantime? There's safety in numbers.
Good idea, Zozo. Lead the way.
From day 11 to day 12, I brought the Forest Guardian back to my base and built a new room for him. I filled it with plenty of plants just to make sure he wasn't homesick.
Thank you, Zozo. This is an excellent room, and including the plants was very thoughtful.
No problem, Forest Guardian. Now, could you tell me everything you know about the Warden-pocalypse? It might hold the key to stopping this whole thing.
Well, I don't know much, but one day this strange, tall creature came wandering through the forest in the middle of the night. I'd never seen anything like it. But I know the day after it happened, that's when so many of the forest dwellers started turning into wardens.
This sounds just like Patient Zero, so he really is behind all of this. Knowing what I did now, I continued working to improve my base and my tools. I mined in the Borealis Grove until I found a vein of iron ore. I took it back to my base and used my furnace and crafting table to smelt and craft it into a full set of iron tools. Now I need to make sure my other supplies are sustainable. I created a paddock on the grounds of my base and herded some sheep into it. After all, you can never be too careful during the Warden-pocalypse. From day 13 to day 15, I approached the Crimson Wizard, who seemed to be the overworld's biggest expert on the Warden-pocalypse. Crimson, I need your advice. I want to gather more information on the Warden-pocalypse, but I don't know where to start.
Perhaps go to the lush red desert. There, we can see how these infected wardens react to different environments. If we're lucky, we might be able to find some kind of weakness we can use.
Following the Crimson Wizard's advice, I journeyed all the way to the lush red desert to find out more. And both luckily and unluckily for me, it looked like it was crawling with wardens. Guess I at least won't be hurting for research subjects. But what I discovered through my research didn't make me feel any better. The infected wardens seemed just as powerful and dangerous in the desert as they did in the bayou or the forest. Stopping the Warden-pocalypse is gonna be a lot harder than I thought. When a few of them attacked me, I was at least able to take them out with my bow, and they dropped a few useful items, some shark tooth arrows for my bow, and a health potion. You can never have enough health. Bottoms up! The potion was a huge help. I went from 10 to 30 hearts immediately. Finally, some good news today. From day 16 to day 19, I continued my search for some useful items or information. That's what led me down into a dark, spooky underground cave. Thankfully, back at my base, I'd made plenty of torches to place along the walls and mark my way. This should shed some light on the situation. I'm glad nobody was down here to hear that. I didn't find any useful crafting items down there, but I did find something strange and interesting all the same. An old book marked Warden Laboratory Research Notes. Most of the pages had been ruined, but one of the ones that hadn't been read. The virus is progressing even faster than we'd initially imagined. Perhaps too fast. I thought it might be the perfect weapon, but it infects and transforms its victims so quickly. It might be too difficult to control. Are we unlocking something truly terrible here? Wait, so people might have actually made the Warden virus? My reading time was interrupted by another warden wandering into the cave. He tried to blast me with his sonic boom, but this time I was able to dodge and fire back with my bow. He went down in one shot, and I was safe once more. I'm becoming quite the Warden Slayer. From day 20 to day 22, I wanted to test out the strength of my new Warden slaying skills some more. I'd noticed that the wardens liked waiting in old or abandoned places, so I found my way to an old abandoned house and searched inside. Sure enough, some wardens were waiting for me, and I easily defeated them with my bow. There may be some hope of stopping the warden apocalypse after all. I also found some iron ingots in a chest inside the abandoned house and decided I'd make use of them. I went back to my base and used my crafting table to create a set of iron armor. That should hopefully have made the warden's sonic booms pack less of a deadly punch. What's a good offense without some good defense after all? The forest guardian came out of the house and gave me a few apples he gathered while I was away. He thought I would be starving after my long journey in the desert. Feeling so much stronger and more confident than before, I journeyed deep into the Black Forest once again until I found the area infested by all those wardens. This time, I'm not running away! Using my superb bow skills, I took out every single one of the wardens and cleared the forest! The forest guardian is gonna be so happy when I tell him! I was journeying back to my base through the Borealis Grove when I heard a familiar, creepy voice and saw a familiar, tall, dark shape. It was Patient Zero!
Please, help me. The experiments, my creation.
I was curious about what he said about the so-called experiments, but I was also scared out of my mind. I ran away as fast as I could, and I just hoped Patient Zero wouldn't be following me. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to my base, still feeling a little worried that Patient Zero might be on my tail. I waited outside the base for a few hours with my bow at the ready. I was just lucky that he never showed up. That's one problem I wouldn't have to deal with until later. But I still had some good news to give. I ran over to the Forest Guardian, who was sitting outside and enjoying nature. Forest Guardian, I have great news! I went back to the Black Forest and drove out the warden infestation. It should be safe for you to return now.
That is great news, Zozo. Thank you for all that you've done. I shall return to the forest now. I wish you luck in bringing the warden apocalypse to an end. Here is a reward for your help.
He threw me an anvil and a flame 1 enchantment, and with that, the Forest Guardian left. Already, something else was on my mind. I got lucky that Patient Zero didn't follow me back this time. What if next time I wasn't so lucky? I really need to build some new base defenses and equipment upgrades. First, I upgraded my bow. I placed the anvil at my base, and with the help of the enchanted book Flame 1, I was able to enchant my bow to fire flaming arrows. This will really make it pack a punch. Then, I built a strong defensive wall around my base. You can't have a warden-slaying fortress if wardens can just waltz right in at any time they like. After the wall was done, I stood back and took in how far my base had come. I might just be able to save the world! From day 27 to day 31, I decided it was time to have a change of scenery and explore further for more clues about the origin of the Warden virus. That's why I went to the White Beach. I think I'm onto something, and all this talk of secret labs and experiments, but I'm still missing important information. My thoughts were interrupted when I ran into a small gang of villagers on the run through the beach. They looked worried and frightened. Hey, are you guys okay?
Far from it. An army of wardens attacked our village. Almost everyone was wiped out or changed. And now we have nowhere to live.
You're in luck. Well, aside from the whole village destruction thing, of course. You can head back to my base in the Borealis Grove. I'll keep you safe there while I figure out how to stop the Warden apocalypse. While the villagers headed back to my base, I decided I'd collect a few blocks of sand for a construction project I was working on. When I returned to my base, I added more rooms for the villagers to sleep in. I also used my furnace to turn the sand into glass, so I could give my base some windows. Perfect for keeping an eye out for the Warden hordes out there. Just as I was standing back and appreciating my hard work, the Crimson Wizard ran towards me in a panic.
Zozo, there's trouble going down in the bayou. Big trouble. I need your help.
From day 32 to day 35, the Crimson Wizard and I ran back to the Wood Villagers' hideout in the bayou. Crimson was right about him being in trouble, because by the time we had made it to the hideout, it was already overrun with wardens. We'll come save you, Woody!
No, don't be reckless. It's already too late for me. Get out of here and save yourselves.
I didn't want to believe it was true. I pulled out my new fire-enchanted bow and shot flaming arrow after flaming arrow into the wardens until none were left standing. Then I ran in to see how the wood villager was doing.
Stop right there.
But why? I saved you.
No, you don't understand. I'm infected, Zozo. I'm sorry, but like I told you, it's already too late for me.
Poof! The wood villager turned into a warden and fired a sonic boom at me. It was hard, but I had no choice. I fired a flaming arrow at the warden that had once been the wood villager, and he was no more. From day 36 to day 39, I needed to get away from the bayou and from the Borealis Grove. I was still so shaken up after what happened to the wood villager. I just couldn't stand it. That's why I went to the tropical rainforest, wandering around and feeling the sunshine and thick tropical air washing all my troubles away. That's when I ran into the illager from the faraway lands, a mysterious stranger walking through the rainforest. Hey, Mr. Illager! I was taking kind of a vacation day out here, but since you're around, would you happen to know anything about the Warden Apocalypse?
Oh, I know a lot about the Warden Apocalypse. A lot. But I won't give you that information for free. It comes at a price.
Name it.
There are some more of those blasted wardens near here. They chased me out of my favorite part of the rainforest. Go destroy them, and we'll talk.
Deal! Following the illager's instructions, I searched around the nearby forest until I happened upon a group of wardens wandering around, searching for fresh victims. It didn't take long for me to take them all out with my bow and flaming arrows. Then I made my way back to the illager, eager to find out more about what I was really facing out here. Tell me everything you know about the one they call Patient Zero, the Warden Enderman. He's the one who caused all this. I need to understand him.
He wasn't always a monster. Well, not in the literal sense anyway. He was a scientist once, and quite a brilliant one at that. But as time went on, his experiments got stranger and stranger. And then, when people started refusing to work with him, he started doing experiments on himself. I imagine one day he went too far and became the Patient Zero you know today.
So, he was normal once. Interesting. Maybe, deep down, there's something in there I can still reason with. From day 40 to day 43, I returned to my base, turning over all the new information I'd learned in my mind. I also missed having the forest guardian around, so I decided, as a tribute to him, to add a bunch more plants and flowers to my base. It really brightened the place up and helped to remind me about what I was fighting for. After I'd put in all these new beautiful natural decorations, I was approached by some of the villagers I'd sent back to my base earlier. They needed another favor.
Zozo, we've heard from some friends and family members from other villages who have been chased out by the wardens too. They need a place to stay. Can they come join us here?
Of course! Tell them to come over. I'll make room for them all. As the new villagers flooded in, I built barracks with bunk beds to hold them all. It made me feel safe to know how many people would be here at the base with us, and the villagers seemed happy with the new arrangement too.
We couldn't be more grateful, Zozo. You're genuinely saving lives here.
Please, all in a day's work.
Though we were wondering if we could ask you for one more favor. We're a little worried about what happened to a village a ways north of here. We have family and friends there. Would you be able to go and check it out?
Of course, if it puts your minds at ease and potentially lets me help more people, it's more than worth the trip. But when I made that agreement, I had no idea just how bad things would get. From day 44 to day 49, I followed the instructions given to me by the villagers at my base and traveled all the way to a village on the other side of the Borealis Grove. Hello? Anyone there? Gosh, this place is giving me the creeps. I walked through the village and found that nobody seemed to be there. There were a few little abandoned houses and one bigger house that I assume maybe belonged to the village mayor. But now, there was nobody here. Well, almost nobody. Suddenly, the last person I wanted to see, Patient Zero, came wandering out from between the houses.
Must keep going. Have to keep spreading it. The beautiful sickness.
Wait, I know who you really are. Kinda. I know you used to be a scientist. Can't we just be reasonable and talk all this out? There's got to be some of you still in there.
Maybe once, but not now. Sorry, can't control myself anymore. My creation has the will. The Warden Apocalypse cannot be stopped.
And with that, Patient Zero wandered off. But as soon as he was gone, a gang of wardens that must have once been the villagers, started surrounding me. Too many for me to just stand and shoot. I need to get out of here before I get infected. From day 50 to day 53, I ran to the only place I could to buy me some time from the advancing army of wardens into the large house. I ran in and closed the door behind me, quickly running up to the top floor. I knew I couldn't escape them from there, but at least it would give me some time to plan. I hid inside what must have been the house's master bedroom, but while I was there, I couldn't help but notice that there was a bookmarked diary. Normally, it's extremely rude to read someone's diary, but since this person was probably transformed into a warden, I figured it was okay. And I'm glad I did, because it read, "Curses! I should have never agreed to work with that awful scientist. All the men I lost to getting him those skulk shriekers from the deep dark for his experiments. I betrayed my people for nothing." But I couldn't read for long. Suddenly, the wardens burst in, and I pulled out my bow. Firing as quickly as I could, I managed to defeat them all. Now it was time to get out of the village before any more could show up. From day 54 to day 57, I left the abandoned house and found that the ship had already sailed on stopping more from showing up. There were a whole bunch of wardens outside, waiting for me, ready to attack. I was just very lucky that I still had plenty of arrows, or my goose would have been cooked. Time to send these wardens back to the deep dark. I fired and fired until there were no wardens left. One of them even dropped something, a dagger. Maybe he was trying to use it to defeat Patient Zero, but he got infected in the process. I won't make that same mistake. I grabbed the dagger and ran back to my base as fast as I could. The Crimson Wizard was waiting for me. Crimson, I think I have some valuable information. Patient Zero used to be a scientist, and I found out from an old diary that his Warden virus experiments involved using skulk shriekers.
Skulk shriekers, of course! Zozo, this is a game changer. If you can get me some skulk shriekers from the deep dark, I might be able to manufacture a vaccine.
Vaccine? What's that?
It's a special chemical compound made from a weak or dead version of the virus, which allows the body's immune system, that's the part of your body that fights off diseases, to recognize and better fight it off. If we can create a proper vaccine for the Warden virus using the skulk shriekers, we can make everyone immune.
That sounds like an amazing idea, Crimson. We might finally turn the Warden apocalypse around. From day 58 to day 62, I prepared to undertake this new part of the mission, obtaining the skulk shriekers to make the Warden virus vaccine. But first, I needed to upgrade my gear in my base in case of a potential counterattack. First, I expanded my paddock and included even more sheep, just to make sure we had spares if the Warden virus somehow started spreading among sheep too. And if I have trouble getting to sleep at night, I can always come out here and count them. Then, I traveled to a nearby diamond mine that one of the villagers told me about and started mining precious diamonds. Diamonds are a Warden Slayer's best friend. Once I'd obtained them, I returned to my base and forged a full set of diamond armor, along with some cool diamond tools and weapons. I was better defended than ever before. Time to find some skulk shriekers! From day 63 to day 66, I went to the Crimson Wizard in my full diamond armor and asked for some instructions.
I recommend you head to the Shattered Glacier, Zozo. It's one of the few places I know of in the overworld that has a safe tunnel leading to the deep dark. That's your best bet at finding skulk shriekers.
Following the Crimson Wizard's advice, I journeyed all the way over to the Shattered Glacier. Lucky for me, there didn't seem to be many wardens around, just lots and lots of ice. Yeesh, I should have brought a warmer jacket. It's totally freezing out here. Soon enough, I came upon a fortress guarded by a huge ice vile ogre. He looked tough and dangerous, so I immediately started worrying that he'd want to fight.
Who goes there? I'm the guardian of this place.
And what exactly is this place?
The tunnel to the deep dark. But I'm not letting anyone in. There's been a dangerous warden infestation in there, and I can't let civilians wander in willy-nilly.
But I'm not just any civilian. I'm a professional Warden Slayer, and I'm searching for the skulk shriekers that'll help my friend, the Crimson Wizard, create a vaccine for the Warden virus.
You're a Warden Slayer, huh? Prove it. There are some wardens just west of here. Take care of them, and I'll let you into the deep dark.
Deal. From day 67 to day 70, I did what the Ice Vile Ogre Guardian told me to do, and went off in search of the local warden infestation. These creatures are so hardy, they can seemingly survive in any biome. This is why I really need those skulk shriekers. Eventually, I found a small swarm of wardens. Lucky for me, I was able to get the element of surprise on them. I pulled out my enchanted bow and took them all out, one by one. But with all my confidence, I didn't expect one of them to have snuck up on me from behind. It hit me with a sonic boom, stunning me and then starting to get closer. If it touched me, I might have gotten infected. So I picked myself back up and ran away as fast as I could. When I'd made some decent distance, I turned around and shot it with my bow, finally finishing off this warden infestation. With that taken care of, I returned to the Ice Vial Ogre at the compound.
You have proven yourself. I'll let you go down to the deep dark. Just be careful down there. Your luck can change in an instant.
He stepped aside, revealing a dark, deep hole into the ground with a ladder. From day 71 to day 74, I climbed down into the deep dark. Just like the name said, it was really deep and really dark, and it took me forever to climb down there. When I reached the bottom, I realized that the Ice Vial Ogre's warning was completely true. There were several wardens at the bottom, waiting for me. I needed to pull out my enchanted bow and shoot at them to scare them away. Maybe the Crimson Wizard should have sent somebody else to do this. After I'd defeated and scared off some of the wardens, I searched deeper into the deep dark. It was certainly spooky down there. Luckily, I eventually found some Skulk Shriekers and used my diamond pickaxe to harvest them. Hopefully this will be enough for the Crimson Wizard to start producing the vaccine. I was heading back to the ladder when suddenly a familiar figure wandered out of the darkness towards me. It was him, Patient Zero!
What are you doing here? I'm trying to collect more samples for my research. Are you a thief, little one?
In a panic, I pulled out my bow and tried shooting him, but it didn't have any effect. And I didn't want to get any closer in case I got infected. I ran around him as fast as I could and started climbing the ladder back up to the surface. I still wasn't ready to face him just yet. From day 75 to day 78, I returned back to my base, shaken by my encounter with Patient Zero, but still feeling proud of myself for getting the Skulk Shriekers. Of course, I immediately gave them over to the Crimson Wizard.
This is amazing, Zozo. Give me a day or so and I'll see what I can whip up.
While the Crimson Wizard was working away on the vaccine for the Warden virus, I decided to make some base improvements, like making the wall taller so I could have better defenses against Warden attacks. By the time all my construction projects were done, the Crimson Wizard had something for me.
I think I've done it, Zozo. I think I've created a Warden virus vaccine potion. But I need to be able to test it before we give it to people.
It's okay, Crimson. You can test it on me.
Are you sure, Zozo? It's still experimental.
If it helps save the world, it's a risk I'm willing to take. I drank the Warden virus vaccine, and the change was immediate. Not only was I now immune to the virus, I was bigger, stronger, and had 60 hearts.
These results are incredible, Zozo. We must share it with the world. Here, take as many Warden virus vaccines as you can carry. Give them to as many friendly people as you can. Together, we'll stop the Warden apocalypse once and for all.
From day 79 to day 84, I decided I'd take advantage of my new immunity and roam the Badlands, taking on any Warden that I saw. It felt great to finally be on top of things and know that the end of the Warden apocalypse may finally be in sight. During my exciting warden-slaying adventures, I came across an old hunter also wandering the Badlands. Mr. Hunter, my friend created a warden virus vaccine. If you and everyone you know takes these, you can avoid getting infected. Please, take a bunch.
This is incredible! What do you want in return, kind sir?
Nothing. The more people have these, the safer we're all going to be.
Then please, as a token of my gratitude, at least take this crossbow. I've used it on many a warden myself. Believe me, it packs a mean punch.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. I'll use it well. From day 85 to day 89, after giving warden virus vaccine potions to as many people as I could, I came back to my base to stock up again, only to find that it was being attacked by another gang of infected wardens. This wasn't supposed to happen. Using my new crossbow, I started shooting at the wardens, taking out a few of them and scaring the rest away. But I couldn't just let them escape. If they did, they might infect more people. I immediately turned and started running after them as fast as I could. But on the way through the Borealis Grove, I saw an innocent Vile Ogre being surrounded by another group of wardens. I wasn't about to let him get infected too, so I ran in, crossbow blazing. Thankfully, I was able to take out all those wardens before they could infect the Vile Ogre with the warden virus. I gave him one of the vaccine potions too, just to be safe. You won't regret this, Zozo. Someday, I will repay this kindness. You have my word. From day 90 to day 94, I continued my chase after the wardens deep into the Borealis forest. Little did I know, these infected wardens had set up a trap for me. I reached a clearing and used my crossbow to take out a few of the wardens, only to find that there were way more waiting for me, coming at me from every angle. For a second, I thought I was doomed. Then I remembered the most important thing. I'd taken the vaccine. I was immune. Remembering this, I pulled out my diamond sword and decided to take on the wardens directly. Let's do this. I'm canceling the Warden-pocalypse. From day 95 to day 97, I kept fighting, using my diamond sword to mow through the warden army like a dad's lawnmower through grass. Soon enough, I defeated every single one of them, and all that was left on the floor was a single book. I picked it up, and just like the damaged book I'd found so long ago, it was titled Warden Laboratory Research Notes. One of these wardens must have been another scientist at the lab. I leafed through the pages. One part read, "Things are getting out of hand. There have been way too many incidents lately. The lead researcher is getting reckless as his obsession with the Warden virus grows. I fear that if we don't get control of this soon, the Warden virus might leak out into the Zelkova forest and maybe even beyond." The Zelkova forest! That must be where the lab is! I can go down there and finish all of this once and for all! On day 98, I returned to my base to tell the Crimson Wizard and the leader of the villagers the good news. I gathered them together to share. Guys, I think I finally have what it takes to finish the Warden-pocalypse and save the world. I found out that the lab where the Warden virus started is in the Zelkova forest. I'm gonna defeat Patient Zero and destroy the entire lab, so this never happens again.
I wish you luck, Zozo, but I don't think you'll need it. You've become the greatest Warden Slayer the world has ever known. I'll continue sharing the Warden virus vaccine while you're gone to help the world become immune.
Thank you, Crimson Wizard. I never could have done any of this without you. Then the leader of the villagers gave me a gift. If you can call 64 blocks of TNT a gift.
Hey, if you want to destroy the whole lab, you're gonna need some serious explosive power.
Thanks, villager. Just, why do you have this?
Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to, kid.
And with that, I was ready to go and save the world from the Warden virus. On day 99, I traveled all the way to the Zelkova forest, hoping to find the lab and destroy the evil of the Warden virus. On the way there, I ran into the King Pig and decided to give him some of the Warden virus vaccines for his pig kingdom.
Thank you, Zozo. You can do this. I believe in you.
After searching a little longer, I found the lab. It was abandoned and crawling with wardens around the outside. Even if they couldn't infect me, there was no way I could take them all out and still defeat Patient Zero afterwards. But then, just as I needed him most, the vile ogre I saved earlier ran in, ready to fight.
I told you I'd repay your kindness someday, Zozo, and that day is today. You go in there and take down the big boss. I'll take care of these warden creeps for you.
On day 100, I entered the abandoned laboratory, which was somehow even creepier than the deep dark. I wandered through the halls, encountering warden after warden and taking them down with my crossbow. It was why the only way to end this was to defeat Patient Zero and destroy the lab altogether. Eventually, in the largest room of the lab, I found him waiting for me. It's time for this to end, Patient Zero. The Warden-pocalypse is over.
Fool! You have no idea what you're dealing with. The Warden-pocalypse is just beginning. On a long enough timeline, the virus will mutate, becoming bigger and stronger until nobody can stop it.
That's why I need to stop you right now. He hit me and was astonished to see that I didn't transform into a warden.
No, this is impossible. How could you be immune to my beautiful virus?
We took the vaccine. It's over, Patient Zero. There's only one cure for you. I pulled out my dagger and destroyed Patient Zero in one shot. All that was left to do was destroy the lab itself, so nobody could ever find his work. I went back outside and put TNT all around the lab, completely surrounding it with the explosive blocks. Afterwards, I stood back and fired a single flaming arrow. Boom! The lab was completely destroyed, and the Warden-pocalypse was truly over. On day 1, I spawned in as Lava Spider-Man in the middle of the Black Forest. Whoa, Lava Spider-Man, what a combination! What will they think of next? But I didn't get to enjoy being the world's hottest web spinner for long, because suddenly, some Endermen were emerging out of the woods around me. Uh-oh, I think I'm gonna leave you guys to it. I turned and ran off as fast as I could, until I couldn't see the Endermen anymore. They blended in well with the dark trees of the Black Forest. I'm only a baby Lava Spider-Man with 10 hearts and no weapons. I can't take on a whole gang of Endermen like this. But I hadn't accounted for one thing. Endermen can teleport! One of them popped up right in front of me, stopping me in my tracks.
Why are you running from us, little one? Do you have something to hide?
What? No! I don't have anything to hide. I was just running because you guys were scary. No offense.
Sorry, kid, but I don't buy that. You're gonna need to come with us. Our master is gonna want to speak to you.
I thought about running again, or trying to fight, but then I turned and saw that even more of the Endermen had appeared behind me. There was no way I could get out! On day 2, one of the Endermen took me to some kind of strange fort, deep in the Black Forest. I had no idea who these Endermen worked for, or what they planned to do with me.
If you just play ball with us, kid, then no harm will come to you. There are just a few things we need to figure out.
Somehow, I didn't believe him. He threw me into some kind of prison cell with tall walls and no ceiling, just staring off into the sky. That's when I noticed a back door.
Don't bother trying to open that.
I turned and saw a cartographer standing in the corner, watching me.
I've tried. It can only be opened from the other side. I've been here for a week, so I think we're gonna be here in the long run.
So they got you too, huh? I'm Zozo. They captured me outside. What are you in for?
They captured me while mapping out the area. I'm a cartographer. That means I make maps. But they accused me of working for some suspicious person and locked me up. Believe me, I've tried every way to escape. It's impossible.
Or maybe not. Going on a hunch, I walked over to one of the walls and started to climb up it, like a spider. This must have been one of my awesome Lava Spider-Man powers. Look at me go. I climbed all the way up the wall and hopped up onto the other side. Then I opened the door from the other side, freeing the cartographer.
That was amazing, Zozo. You're like a superhero.
Aw, geez, that's nice of you to say. But we should probably get out of here before those weird Endermen come back and try to capture us again.
Good idea. We'll split up, and I hope to see you again someday, Zozo.
Likewise, stay safe out there. So I ran off, trying to make my way out of the sinister Black Forest. On day 3, I escaped the Black Forest and reached the Badlands, which was as scorching hot and unforgiving as the name suggests. Wow, thank goodness I'm a Lava Spider-Man, or I'd be roasting right now. But it wasn't just the heat that was a problem, it was hunger. You can't just run away from a bunch of sinister, mysterious Endermen without working up an appetite. And there aren't that many trees around here either, so I guess apples are out of the question too. But I wasn't out of luck just yet. I managed to find some delicious, healthy carrots nearby and pick them up for a quick snack. I may be a Spider-Man, but I'll take some nice carrots over flies any day. After eating the carrots and filling up my hunger bar, I continued exploring the Badlands until I ran into something spectacular. A huge, tough diamond golem.
Hey there, little dude. Pick your jaw up off the floor. You may be looking at the ultimate blinged out golem, but don't worry, I'm actually very approachable.
Sorry, I don't mean to stare, it's just, wow, you're so shiny.
Oh yeah, you better believe it. You know what they say, diamonds are forever, and so am I, no matter what these goofy, unshiny Endermen say.
Wait, the Endermen are after you too? I literally just escaped from those guys.
Is that so, little bro? Then I think we have a lot to say to each other. Follow me, my pad isn't far from here.
I'd made another friend. I eagerly followed the diamond golem through the Badlands, excited for whatever would come next. From day 4 to day 5, I continued with the diamond golem over to his pad. It was the coolest base I'd ever seen, the exact kind of thing you'd expect from a blinged out super golem. Wow, this place is amazing, diamond golem. I'm so impressed.
Please, kid, call me Dino. And your name?
I'm Zozo, Zozo the Lava Spider-Man.
That's a mouthful, little Zozo, but I can dig it. What you're lacking in Riz, you can make up for in guts. I like that. Let me guess, people have called you a superhero?
Wow, that was a good guess.
I have a talent for reading people. You just look like a hero, man. There are some dangerous people out there. Not every golem is as nice and cool as me. I need your help to take care of the people out there giving me a bad name.
Can you dig it? You think you're tough enough?
I can dig it, and I definitely think I'm tough enough. I'll help you defeat all the bad guys.
Right on, little Zozo. First though, you can't hang out here. You're harshing my vibe. Take these tools and go build your own place. Get it?
Yes, sir. Dino the Diamond Golem gave me a stone sword and a stone pickaxe, and I left to make a base of my own. That's how I ended up in the Amaranth Fields. Yeah, this is a much nicer climate. I immediately started cutting down trees and mining stone until I had enough material to start building a base. It wasn't anywhere near as cool as Dino's base, but if I worked hard, maybe someday it would be. But the physical exercise was worth it anyway, because I suddenly leveled up, getting bigger, stronger, suddenly having 20 hearts, and gaining a new power, Web Blasts. Oh yeah, now I'm like a real Spider-Man. And that new power couldn't have come at a better time. One of the same Endermen from earlier teleported in front of me.
I've been searching for you all day since you escaped our base. I knew you were trouble.
Oh, you have no idea. Unlike them, I wasn't taking prisoners. I fired Web Blast after Web Blast until the Enderman was no more. When I level up enough, I'm gonna be every bit as strong as Dino the Diamond Golem. From day 6 to day 8, I continued working on my base, making it a little bigger by adding a new building. And once I'd done that, I could start making it look as cool as Dino's base. During my lunch break, I saw a familiar figure walking through the Amaranth Fields. It was the cartographer who'd been in the prison with me. Of course, I immediately ran over to have a chat with my old cellmate. Hey, buddy, how's the free life treating ya?
Hi, Zozo. I wish I could say it was shaking out well, but it's honestly been pretty tough.
Oh no, why?
My boss, an iron golem, was meant to give me instructions on what maps to make next, but when I got to his house, it was destroyed, and he was gone. It feels like something suspicious has happened. Maybe someone is going after golems.
That's worrying. Take care of yourself out there, cartographer. I'm gonna go tell Dino the Diamond Golem. If someone is going after golems, he needs to know. And being true to my word, I immediately left to go visit Dino and warn him about the potential threat.
Wish I could say I was surprised, but it ain't easy being a golem. Here's the thing though, us golems are tough. We're not easy to take out. If someone is going after golems, there's a good chance they're a vengeful golem themselves.
Do we have any leads on who it can be?
I've heard rumors of an obsidian golem operating in the North Badlands. Go look into that and report back to me.
Of course, Dino. I'll get on it. And so I left in search of the obsidian golem, who was potentially behind the golem disappearances. From day 9 to day 10, I traveled north, braving the harsh conditions of the Badlands, knowing how important my mission was. But why would the obsidian golem go after his own kind like that? It doesn't make sense. As a budding superhero, I know that nobody commits a crime without having some kind of motive. But while I was mulling over the mystery I'd been sent to solve, the obsidian golem got the jump on me, literally jumping out right in front of me.
I knew someone was following me. You think because I'm a golem, I'm dumb? Big mistake, bucko. And unless you have a good explanation, it'll be your last.
Look, I'm sorry that I was looking for you, but it was for a good cause. I'm hunting the person who's making golems disappear.
Like I'd buy that. I think either you're the culprit or you're working for him. And I'm not taking any chances on my life here. Let's go, creep.
There was no more reasoning with him after that. The obsidian golem attacked me full force, and there was nothing I could do to talk him down. I just fought back as best as I could until he was finally defeated. But in the process, I was almost completely destroyed. Wow, Dino wasn't kidding about golems being powerful. Luckily for me, a friendly mungus happened to be passing by. He walked over to me, seeming concerned.
You okay there, son? You're not looking so hot, aside from the lava, of course.
Yeah, I just got beaten up by a huge, powerful obsidian golem, so you're right, I'm not doing too well.
Lucky for you, I've got a spare health potion. Here, take it. You look like you need it more than me.
He gave me a health potion, which I quickly drank, delighted to have my health restored. You're a lifesaver, literally. Say, do you have any idea what kind of golem might be able to destroy other golems? I'm hunting a dangerous criminal.
A golem that destroys golems, huh? That's a tall order. There'd need to be an extremely tough golem to do that, not to mention incredibly crafty. An obsidian golem is probably too low level to pull off that kind of evil scheme.
An extremely tough golem. Interesting. This'll give me something to look into. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to Dino the Diamond Golem's awesome pad with less than awesome news. I met Among Us out in the Badlands, Dino, and he seemed to think that the Obsidian Golem didn't have anything to do with all the disappearances. It'd need to be a much stronger golem than him.
Huh, who you gonna trust when it comes to golems, little man? Some random mungus? Or me, an actual golem? Believe me, nobody knows this situation better than Dino.
That makes sense, I guess. What do you think I should do now then?
There's a sandstone golem in the Amaranth Fields. I've got a good reason to believe he's involved in all this. You don't need to investigate him, just take him out. Understood?
Understood. I'm sorry for ever doubting you, Dino.
Yeah, man, you better be.
Now knowing how tough golems were, I knew that I needed better weapons to take them on. That's when I found a mining cave and searched deep inside until I found some iron ore. This is exactly what I need. I mined the iron ore and set to building a furnace in that deep, dark cave. I then used the furnace to smelt the iron ore into iron ingots, which I then turned into an awesome iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Now I've really got an edge. I left the cave only to find an angry grizzly bear outside waiting for me. So this is your cave, huh? When the bear tried to attack me, I unleashed some web blast and then defeated it with my iron sword. First a grizzly bear, next a grizzly golem. From day 13 to day 15, I traveled across the Amaranth Fields in the glistening nightlight, searching for the sandstone golem so I could carry out my mission. I finally spotted the golem, standing at a campfire and warming himself. It was strange. He didn't look aggressive at all, but I trusted Dino. I carefully approached, my sword drawn, preparing to fire a web blast at him and then charge in for an attack. But before I could, he turned and saw me standing there.
Hey there, friend. You look a little chilly for a lava Spider-Man. Want to come and warm yourself by my fire?
Are you sure?
Of course. There's room enough for everyone around here.
I approached carefully and stood next to the sandstone golem, even though Dino had told me not to. We talked for a while, shared some jokes, and strangely, he seemed like a nice guy. I just couldn't believe he'd been behind all the golem disappearances. Something was up, something fishy. I left the sandstone golem safely by his campfire and went back to talk to Dino. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. From day 16 to day 19, I went straight back to Dino's pad to confront him about all the strange things I'd been noticing lately. He wasn't pleased.
What? Why didn't you take out the sandstone golem? Why? Don't you trust me?
It's not that I don't trust you, it's just everything you've said to me, it doesn't quite add up.
Here's what doesn't add up, kid. You and me. If you don't trust me, as in you don't follow every single one of my orders to the letter without question, I can't work with you. Get out of here and never come back. I'll solve the golem disappearances myself.
With that, I left Dino's pad, knowing I'd probably never see him again. I returned to my base, only to see, to my surprise, that the cartographer was waiting for me there again. Oh, hey, cartographer, what's up?
No time for small talk. I've discovered something important. The one behind the golem disappearances. It's a diamond golem.
What?
It makes total sense. That's one of the toughest kinds of golems out there. Only he would be strong enough to easily take out other golems.
Oh no! Dino was behind it all along! He used me. I need to warn Sandstone. I ran back to the Sandstone Golem's camp in the Amaranth Fields, but it was already too late. Sandstone was gone, and only Dino remained.
You're too late, Zozo, my man. I just finished up what you should have done. Sandstone's finished.
You monster! You used me! You've been betraying and destroying your own kind, but why?
Simple. A diamond golem is pretty special, but you know what's even more special? Being the only golem. And I like the sound of that.
So you're just destroying all the other golems to satisfy your own ego?
Yeah, pretty much. Why? You gonna stop me?
I'm absolutely gonna stop you! I'm Zozo, the Lava Spider-Man! I'm this world's superhero, and your evil, selfish plan ends here! But it didn't end there, because Dino the Diamond Golem ran up to me and knocked me out cold with a single punch! From day 20 to day 22, I came to at the campsite. Dino wasn't there anymore, but the camp wasn't empty. A TNT Golem was standing right above me. Oh no, you don't work for Dino, do you?
Goodness no, I'm Splodo, the TNT Golem. I was here to warn my friend Sandstone about the evil plans of Dino the Diamond Golem, but it seems I was too late.
I'm so sorry I couldn't save your friend, Splodo. I should have seen Dino for what he was earlier, but I was so blinded by how cool he seemed. I let him boss me around, but never again. We'll work together to take him down. Splodo returned to my base with me, and I built a new house for him to sleep in while we worked on our shared plan to take down Dino before he could destroy all the golems.
I believe in you, Zozo. Together, we're gonna bring this evildoer down.
Yeah, we'll be superheroes together! From day 23 to day 26, I traveled back to the Black Forest. It sure feels different being back here after learning so much. I was a lava spider boy back then. Now, I'm a lava Spider-Man.
Help! I need somebody! Help! Not just anybody! I need a hero!
Hey, that's me! Wait, I know that voice! I followed the sound of the voice and saw the cartographer being attacked by a guster! Get away from him! I fired a web blast at the guster, destroying it!
Thank you. That was a pretty close one. I'm glad you showed up.
Me too. I want to make up for letting Dino trick me, and that means I need to help as many good guys as I can. Being a superhero isn't just about beating the villain, it's about helping the people who need it. From day 27 to day 31, I continued exploring the Black Forest. As I did, I spotted a herd of sheep that looked really lost. Turned out, I was right. They had lost their old home and were trying to find a new, safe place to stay. So I escorted them back to my base. I guess you guys will need a place to stay. No point in inviting you over and then making you just stand around. That would be rude. So I built a pen for the sheep. It wasn't anything fancy, but they seemed pretty happy with it. After I was done building that, I decided to check in on the rest of the base. While I was gone, Splodo the TNT golem added a chest area and made paths while I was building. Awesome, so much extra storage, just what every superhero needs. Meanwhile, Dino the diamond golem was at his base in the Badlands, and he was up to no good.
If I'm gonna get rid of all the rest of the golems, I'll need some extra muscle. That's where you come in. Think you're up to the task?
Bada bing, bada boom.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that means yes, boss.
From day 32 to day 35, I hatched a new plan. I need to go back and talk to those Endermen and explain what I know. I think we're actually all on the same side. I just hope they'll listen to me. I traveled back to their base in the Black Forest, where I spotted one of the Endermen standing out front. Hi there, funny story, I was wrong about some stuff.
You! Bold move coming here, little lava Spider-Man. You're in big trouble.
Wait, we don't have to fight. We're on the same side, I promise.
Do you think I'm a fool? Why would I believe you?
You can take me to your boss. I'll come willingly this time. I just want to talk to him.
Interesting. Very well.
He took me to an evoker. Hello, my name is Zozo.
I know who you are. You're an acquaintance of Dino the Diamond Golem, yes?
I was, but I was wrong. He tricked me. I'm so sorry. I want to help.
I can tell that you have a good and honest heart. The heart of a hero. Very well, young Zozo. There is very little we know for certain at this point, but we do know that the golem disappearances plaguing this land can all be traced back to Dino. I will provide you with more information when I have it, as long as you promise to do the same.
It's a deal. From day 36 to day 39, I traveled back to my base. Those guys were actually pretty nice. I can't believe I was so scared of them before, but now we can work together. But if I'm going to be much help, I'll need some better equipment. To the mines! I headed down into the cave and started mining. I found some iron ore, which I smelted into iron ingots. I used it to craft a set of iron armor. I returned to my base shortly after, only to find a toolsmith waiting for me.
Excuse me, are you Zozo?
Sure am.
I brought you something.
He handed me a diamond. Oh, wow, thank you. What did I do to deserve this?
I just thought maybe you could use it. Also, I need your help. Come with me. We have a friend in common who needs to speak with you.
From day 40 to day 43, I followed the toolsmith and was surprised to see the evoker. Hey again, what's going on? I just saw you.
Indeed, but I have received some new information that I needed to deliver in person as soon as possible. You see, Dino is…
But before he could finish what he was saying, a pillager showed up.
Bada bing, bada boom. You dead meat, Zozo.
Uh-oh, that's me he's talking about. He was way bigger and stronger than me. I'm not sure if I can defeat this guy. Both myself and the evoker ran off in separate directions and met up later, coincidentally.
Go, Zozo, run! I will do my best to handle him. I will meet you in a safe place when the coast is clear.
You got it! I ran out of there as fast as I could. From day 44 to day 49, I made it back to my base without the pillager following me. I just hope the evoker got out of there okay.
I certainly did, young Zozo.
The evoker emerged, somehow, completely unharmed. You're here, you're alive. Oh, I'm so glad. I was scared the pillager would hurt you.
He certainly gave it his best try, but I managed to elude him. I didn't get this far by being an easy target, you know. I may not be much of a fighter, but I know how to survive.
Me too, so far at least.
I've learned of something that I believe will help you with your continued survival, and with our shared goal of stopping Dino from continuing to wreak havoc.
Oh, sweet. Tell me about it.
There is a special weapon, a destroyer, capable of breaking apart diamonds with very little effort. I imagine it would give you the edge you need against Dino when you finally confront him.
Sounds perfect. Where is it?
That's the trouble. Its location is a secret. I have heard that there may be useful information in the Badlands, however, I suggest you travel there and see what you can turn up.
I'll head there now. From day 50 to day 53, I traveled to the Badlands in search of information on the Destroyer. They call this place the Badlands for a reason. It's terrible. I hope I find something quickly and don't have to stay here for too long. Thankfully, my wish came true. I spotted a book on the ground, and when I picked it up, I noticed the title, The Destroyer and You. Wow, this is super convenient. Okay, it says that the Destroyer is a special weapon, one that's hundreds of years old. It was created to overthrow a corrupt diamond golem who tried to become the king of the land. Hey, that's kind of like what Dino's doing, I think. But where is it? When I flipped to the end of the book, the last page was missing. Oh no, I bet that was the part of the book with the Destroyer's location. Guess I'll have to come up with another plan. Back to the spider base. From day 54 to day 57, I was on my way back to my base when the pillager jumped into view, blocking my path. Hey, I'm walking here.
Well, hey, I'm blocking here. You thought you got away, huh? Well, tough toenails, kid. No one gets away from Petey the Pillager.
If you won't let me pass, I guess we'll just have to fight about it.
Give it a shot, Pipsqueak.
I attacked the pillager, but he didn't even budge. Uh-oh, he's still way too strong. I need to get out of here before this gets serious. I fled the scene and got out of there as fast as I could. Meanwhile, at Dino's hideout, he was feeling triumphant.
Another one bites the dust. Soon, I'll be the only golem around. No one's gonna be as special as me. All these other golems better watch their backs.
From day 58 to day 62, I ran back to my base. When I got there, I saw that my friends there had built an additional storage room for us to keep weapons in. Hey, with all this space, I should make some new weapons to keep in here. To the mines! I headed down into the cave to see what I could find. Turns out, luck was on my side because what I found was some diamonds. I've heard of fighting fire with fire. Maybe I should try fighting diamonds with more diamonds. I gathered the diamonds and used them to craft a diamond sword, a diamond pickaxe, and a diamond chestplate. From day 63 to day 66, Splodo came to speak with me.
Zozo, I was able to find out the location of that destroyer you're looking for. Apparently, it's in the Brimstone Caverns. Quick, come with me, I'll show you.
I followed Splodo to the Brimstone Caverns. Phew, it smells like rotten eggs in here.
Yep, that's all the brimstone. Anyway, here's the place.
Uh-oh, looks like we can't get in. I think we need some kind of key.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Zozo. I'll help you look for a key. We'll get in there.
Thanks, Splodo. You're the bomb. Get it?
Yeah, I get it.
From day 67 to day 70, Splodo and I walked back to my base. When I got there, the evoker was waiting for me. Hey, maybe I should go ahead and build you a guest room.
No thank you, Zozo. This is not a social call, I'm afraid. I'm here to ask you for your help. A magma golem is tearing apart the Amaranth fields, and I fear that he will burn them all down in a fit of rage. Please, help me reason with him before his fiery temper destroys everything.
I'll do my best. I looked around, following the smell of burning grass, and sure enough, I spotted a magma golem stomping around. He looked really angry. Hey, I can see you're upset about something, but you don't have to do this. Please stop before someone gets hurt.
You! I know you! You're working with him, that awful diamond golem who killed Sandstone. I have nothing to say to you, with my mouth at least. We can talk with my fists.
Your fist can talk? Oh, no, you mean you're gonna fight me? Wait! He wouldn't listen! He attacked me, and I had to fight back! My diamond chestplate protected me from taking too much damage, and I managed to knock him back long enough to talk again. I don't work with Dino anymore! I realized what kind of guy he really was. Now I'm trying to stop him from hurting any more golems, I swear!
You're not just lying to save your skin?
No, from a lava guy to a magma guy, I promise I'm telling the truth.
Then I've got an idea. Let's you and me work together and show that diamond-studded jerk he's not as special as he thinks he is.
From day 71 to day 74, I showed the magma golem back to my base. He told me that he had lost his home while trying to run from Dino, and he didn't have anywhere else to go. Luckily, we had plenty of room. You can stay here for as long as you want. It'll be fun. But I couldn't stick around for the housewarming. The pillager turned up, ready to cause some trouble.
Still gonna be fun when I crash your party, little man?
Oh no, the pillager!
That's right. Hey, nice place you got here. Would be a shame if something happened to it.
With that, he started attacking my base and smashing it up. I drew my diamond sword and attacked the pillager, but he was still stronger than me.
Nice try, Pipsqueak, but no dice. I'm gonna take something of yours to teach you a lesson.
Before I could stop him, he ran away.
Zozo, help!
That was Splodo's voice. I ran in to help, but the pillager and Splodo were already gone. I couldn't stop him from taking Splodo. What kind of hero am I? I couldn't take it anymore, and I went to my room to lie down. A little while later, the magma golem came to my room.
Zozo, I built some additional defenses while you were resting. We have a new perimeter wall around the base to protect against any future invaders.
Thank you. That makes me feel a little bit better. Now I just need to find a way to get Splodo back. Meanwhile, in the Badlands.
Now that the pillager has taken that TNT golem that I couldn't get to before, I'm one step closer. That loser Zozo is never gonna beat me.
From day 75 to day 78, I was busy trying to come up with a plan to rescue Splodo. I'm not ready to fight the pillager yet. I'm going to need something to give me an edge. A new weapon or another ability, something. And as if on cue, the evoker appeared.
Zozo, I heard what happened to your explosive little friend. I believe this may help you. The pillager is vulnerable to explosive attacks and has very sensitive eyes. Its flashy ammunition should both damage and distract him.
He handed me a firework crossbow. Oh, this is awesome. Do you know where I can find the pillager?
I know many things, Zozo, and yes, that is one of them. He lives just outside of Dino's lair in the Badlands.
Thank you! I took my new crossbow and set off to find the pillager and get my friend back. From day 79 to day 84, I traveled to the Badlands. It didn't take long for me to spot the pillager lurking around outside of Dino's base. Give me back my friend.
Nah, I don't feel like it.
Maybe this will change your mind. I fired my firework crossbow and it actually managed to hit. Hey, maybe I can actually do this. And so the battle with the pillager began. I felt much more confident with my new weapon, but he was still much stronger than me.
Ready to give up?
No, this is merely a tactical retreat. I ran away until I found a big rock to hide behind, where I met, against all odds, Splodo the TNT golem.
Zozo, I escaped, and on my way out, I managed to grab this. Quick, eat it!
He tossed me a golden apple. I ate it in one big bite, and I felt myself growing stronger. My heart increased to 60, and I gained a jump boost. I grew too. That golden apple gave me the strength I needed to finally defeat the pillager. I ran back, fighting the pillager one-on-one, until nothing was left. Dino's strongest henchman had been defeated, and Splodo came over to celebrate with me. I did it! Thank you, Splodo. You're a real hero.
So are you. Come on, let's go home.
From day 85 to day 89, Splodo and I returned to the base.
Guess what?
Chicken butt?
No, that's really funny though. I grabbed something that the pillager dropped when you beat him. It's a magic key. I think it's the key to the Brimstone Caverns. You can finally go and get the destroyer.
That's amazing. You've helped so much. Thank you, Splodo.
You can thank me by getting rid of Dino once and for all.
With the magic key in hand, I traveled back to the Brimstone Caverns. I held my breath as I unlocked the door and entered the caverns. There, I saw it, the destroyer! Yes, finally! I started walking toward it, but a wither skeleton jumped in the way. Oh, no you don't. It attacked me, but I fought back. It took a little while, but I managed to defeat it. A destroyer, yes! I've got to get this back to my base. From day 90 to day 94, I left the Brimstone Caverns, ready to head back to my base. But as I exited the caverns, Dino, the diamond golem, appeared in behind me.
Hey Zozo, how's it going?
What? Aren't you here to attack me?
Nah, why would I do that? We used to work together pretty well, you and me. What do you say we team up again? Give it another shot.
Are you kidding? You lied to me. You kidnapped my friend. You're trying to hurt tons of people. Why would I ever work with you?
Because when I'm the big boss around here, you're gonna want to be on my good side.
I don't think you have a good side. With great power comes a lot of responsibility, and you've misused it at every turn. Thanks, but no thanks.
Fine, have it your way.
Before I could stop him, he pushed me into a deep hole and snatched the destroyer out of my hands. He left me there and took the weapon with him. From day 95 to day 97, I used my new climbing skills to escape Dino's trap. But by the time I got out, he was long gone, and so was the destroyer. I need some advice. I should go visit the evoker and see what he thinks I should do. I traveled to the Black Forest to see if the evoker had any tips for me. But when I got there, the place was in chaos. The evoker was there, but he was badly injured. Oh no, what happened?
Dino came through on a rampage. He must have learned that I told you about the destroyer. I don't have much time, little lava Spider-Man. Listen close. You must get the destroyer back. It holds a great power, and it will give you the strength you need to defeat him. The weapon itself is not what matters, but the strength within you that it will bring to the surface. The power is within you.
And just like that, he was gone. Thank you for everything. I promise to get revenge on Dino for everything he's done. On day 98, I returned to my base to get some rest and come up with the next phase of my plan. But when I got there, it was a mess. The perimeter wall was destroyed, and I couldn't see my friends anywhere. Oh no, Dino must have done this.
He did.
Splodo, you're okay.
I am. I managed to hide from him. Everyone else ran away. I don't blame them. It was scary. But don't get discouraged, Zozo. We're going to be superheroes together. Remember?
I'm not so sure, Splodo. He's so much more powerful than us. How can we ever hope to beat him?
Listen, I know it seems hopeless, but we have to try. I'm still here. It's not over yet. He came after our base. Now we need to take the fight to him.
On day 99, I traveled to the Badlands to confront the baddest guy in those lands once and for all. I don't know if I'll make it through this, but I know I have to try. Splodo was right. I can't lose hope now. When I got there, he was waiting for me.
Hey, Zozo! Welcome to my humble abode. Ready to lose another fight?
Nope. I attacked him, but he hit hard. I took a lot of damage, but I got an idea. I got my firework crossbow and fired a shot. It surprised Dino, and he jumped back. When he did, he dropped the destroyer. Now's my chance. I grabbed the destroyer and took off in the opposite direction of Dino's base.
Yeah, you better run.
I'll be back. I took the destroyer back to my base and remembered what the evoker said. The power is in me. I just have to find it. I used the destroyer, and as I did, I had a vision of every fight I'd had so far, every friend I'd made along the way. I felt so much stronger. When the vision ended, I saw that my base was magically repaired, as if Dino had never destroyed it. That's it. I'm ready. On day 100, I returned to Dino the Diamond Golem's base for the final showdown. This time, I had the destroyer, and more importantly, the heart of a hero. My heart, I mean.
You're too late, Zozo. Pretty soon there won't be any golems left. You think you're special? You're not special. I'm the only one who's special.
That's not true. You think you're better than everyone else, and that's why you'll never really win. I used the destroyer to attack, and for the first time, I did some real damage to Dino.
Hey, what's the big idea?
Justice, that's what. It was a tough fight. Dino was the strongest opponent I had ever faced, but I knew I could beat him. And after a hard battle, I finally did! I can't wait to go home and tell Splodo. We did it! We beat the bad guy! We're real superheroes after all. On day 1, I spawned in as an ice spider, an arachnid as cold as the Arctic reaches. All 8 of my legs are here, but why am I so little? I'm only a baby spider! That's when I realized that I was trapped inside of a magic circle. An evil-looking necromancer stood on the outside, casting a terrible spell.
A spider of ice, it will suffice. So says me, Necromancer Bryce.
Light swirled all around me, and the entire world shook. But when it stopped, I felt like I was able to move. Great! I better get out of here while I can. I tried to scurry away, but Bryce the necromancer blocked my path.
Not so fast there, Ice Spider. Your part to play is done, so now I'll destroy you and complete the spell.
Hey, I have a name, you know. It's Zozo, and I don't like it when people say they're going to destroy me.
Oh, it's nothing personal. That magic spell I just cast is going to destroy the entire world 100 days from now.
What? The entire world? You do realize that doesn't make it better, right?
But it does make it destroyed. The ritual also says that I should sacrifice the ice spider used in the spell for best results.
Well, it's not going to be this ice spider. I'm leaving, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna find a way to counteract your spell. I bolted for it as fast as my 8 legs could carry. Instead of chasing after me, the necromancer Bryce just laughed wickedly to himself.
Easier said than done, my arachnid friend. The world's destruction is close at hand.
On day 2, I managed to get far enough away from the necromancer Bryce that I could take it easy. I looked around in wonder at the glowing ancient forest around me. I also noticed that I had 10 hearts and that my hunger gauge was lowering fast. It looks like running for my life from a destruction-happy evil necromancer really works up an appetite. I searched around until I found a tree that had apples in it for me to take. Then I ate the apples until my hunger meter was full again. Surviving all alone in this world as a baby spider isn't so bad. I'm really getting the hang of it. I wasn't alone for long though, as I saw a couple of skeleton vanguards appear out from between the trees.
There you are, Ice Spider. We shall get rid of you for our master, the necromancer Bryce.
He must really want to sacrifice me if he's sending skeletons to do his bidding. I tried to fend off the skeleton vanguards, but my spider bites didn't have much of an effect on creatures made of bone.
Give up, Spider. The world is doomed, and your sacrifice will seal its fate.
The mobs kept attacking, bringing me down to my last few hearts. I thought I was doomed. But then, an energy blast distracted the skeleton vanguards and made them run away. Out of nowhere, an illusioner appeared. I realized immediately that they must have been the one who cast the spell.
Follow me, little ice spider. I'll take you to my camp. We'll be safer there.
You saved my life, so I guess I can trust you. On day 3, the illusioner took me to his campsite and cast a protective illusion barrier around both of us so that the mobs wouldn't find us. You're pretty good at casting spells, illusioner.
Please, call me Alan. Illusioner Alan.
Okay, Alan, you're pretty good at casting spells.
Thank you for saying that, but unfortunately, there are mages far more powerful than me in the world, and some of them are using their gifts for evil.
You mean like Necromancer Bryce? Is it true that his spell will end the world?
Not if we good mages have anything to say about it.
Soon after, another mage arrived at the campfire. This one was a wind caller with the power to, well, call wind.
I'm Wind Caller Windy. I'm here to see the ice spider.
That's me. I'm Ice Spider Zozo.
Oh, the winds are truly blowing in our favor. You, my amicable arachnid, may be the key to saving the entire world from destruction. Necromancer Bryce's ritual can be stopped by a more powerful spell, as long as he doesn't sacrifice an ice spider.
So as long as I'm alive, there's a chance that you mages will be able to stop him.
We'll need your help too. You can battle his henchmen and travel to places which would be too dangerous for us.
You can count on me. I might still be a baby spider, but I won't let the entire world down. From day 4 to day 5, I began to make use of the trees around me to gather wood for a wooden pickaxe. Because my starting area was a forest, it didn't take long to have enough to craft the tool. But wood wouldn't be good for long if I could do better. I mined into the ground with my wooden pickaxe for some stone and quickly upgraded to a stone pickaxe. With the new and improved stone tool, I was able to gather even more stone to use for building and crafting. First, I made a stone sword to defend myself with. Next, I started building a strong shelter where I could stay safe from Necromancer Bryce and his undead minions. Illusioner Alan had chosen to come with me. His illusion spells would help keep me safe while I built the base. Thanks for all your help so far, Alan.
Remember, Zozo, do not rely on magic. It cannot keep every mob away.
I soon understood what he meant when a skeleton appeared and interrupted my building. Good thing I crafted that stone sword. I drew my weapon and brought down the skeleton with a cup of wax. My victory against the skeleton made me stronger and more experienced, and because of that, I grew out of my baby mode into a regular-sized ice spider with 30 hearts. I can shoot ice blasts now. That is more like it. From day 6 to day 8, I was out exploring in the nearby gravelly mountains when I saw a friendly gorilla being attacked by a slime ball.
Get away from me, you slime ball!
The slime ball didn't answer. It just bounced and got slime everywhere. You may be slimy, but this ice spider isn't so helpless anymore. I hit the slime ball with my stone sword over and over. It did a good amount of damage, but I was taking damage the longer I stayed in contact with the slime ball. I retreated back to a safe distance and shot the slime ball with an ice blast. It froze the mob solid, so I was able to get in a few more hits with my stone sword while it was immobilized. I repeated this 2 or 3 times with more ice blasts until the slime ball was defeated. Once the battle was over, the gorilla cheered and ran up to greet me.
Brr, I was cold just watching that, but I'm glad you're on my side.
Of course. I, Ice Spider Zozo, am all about saving others.
You're definitely the nicest ice mob I've met. Say, do you think you could talk to the other one I know and tell him to stop trying to freeze me?
Sure thing. I'll let him know that's not nice.
He's just over here in another part of the mountains.
From day 9 to day 10, the gorilla showed me to the lair of the Icy Creeper, a powerful ice mob that seemed to like to cause trouble. Gorilla seemed worried for me. That's how I knew Icy Creeper would be trouble.
Are you sure you could talk him out of being mean, Zozo?
I can certainly try. I left Gorilla behind and approached the Icy Creeper. His attention was on me immediately, but he didn't speak. It looked like I would need to talk first. Hey, I'm Ice Spider Zozo. I heard you've been trying to freeze the gorilla, and they'd like you to stop.
Well, that's very nice, but I'm not gonna. I'll freeze anyone I want.
That's so rude. What did the gorilla ever do to you?
Nothing, but this is a cold world, and I'm one cold, tough customer. If that gorilla doesn't like it, he can go to another mountain.
Don't make me fight you, Icy Creeper.
I'd like to see you try.
I fired my ice blast at the Icy Creeper, but it seemed like he was even colder than me because it barely did any damage. His own ice blast took off a bunch of my hearts. In a battle between ice creatures, I was definitely the loser for now. I ran back to the gorilla, sad that I couldn't defeat the Icy Creeper. I promised Gorilla that I'd let him stay in my base for now and come back to the Gravelly Mountains to defeat Icy Creeper at a later time. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base and began renovating the living space so that the gorilla had a place to live. I used a lot of stone bricks so it wouldn't be too different from the mountain he had left behind. Once I had built the room, I went to see the gorilla and showed him where he could stay.
Thanks for letting me stay here, Zozo. I thought you could use some more storage space, so I did a bit of building on my own.
It turned out that the gorilla really had built a room that was perfect for storing extra items. He also built a furnace that would heat up the room where he and the mages would be staying. Oh yeah, I guess you guys need to stay warm. Either way, that's very impressive work.
I call it the home away from home. Oh, I hope I get to see the mountains again before the world ends.
It's not going to end. I'll stop it.
I hope so. That necromancer Bryce has been plotting world destruction for a long time, actually. He's tried all sorts of spells to do it, and they've never worked. This one might, though, and the idea of that is really scary.
It did sound scary, and I wasted no time getting better materials to help defend myself in case Bryce showed up. Down in the mining area of the base, I went digging for some iron to upgrade my tools. I found some iron ore, which I smelted into iron ingots, then crafted into an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. Back on the surface, I tamed some sheep from the nearby glowing ancient forest and built a farm for them. If that furnace fails, there's always wool sweaters. From day 13 to day 15, I sought out Illusioner Alan for some more advice on how to complete Necromancer Bryce's challenge. I want to save the world as soon as I can, Alan. Is the spell ready yet?
If only magic were that simple, Zozo. The truth is that Bryce's destruction spell is linked to you now. The only way to weaken it is for you to become stronger.
How do I do that?
When you defeated Bryce's skeleton henchman before, some of the spell's magic transferred into you. If you could defeat a more powerful one, it could happen again.
I went back to the Gravelly Mountains in the hopes of finding another undead mob to fight. Come and get me! I don't fear you, skeletons! As if answering my call to battle, a skeleton vanguard came charging across the mountain terrain towards me.
Spider of Ice! Spider of Ice! The time has come for sacrifice!
I hit the advancing skeleton vanguard with an ice blast, which slowed the undead down. I was able to hit him with another before he got into melee range. Time to get a taste of my new weapon. At that point, I brought out my iron sword and slashed the skeleton vanguard with some powerful hits. The skeleton vanguard crumbled and dropped a health potion to boot. This potion must contain some more of Bryce's magic. I drank the potion and felt my power increase dramatically. My number of hearts doubled and became 60. And I gained the magical ability to turn invisible like see-through ice. From day 16 to day 19, I continued my exploration into a brand new part of the world that I'd never seen before, the Great Lake Isles. As I crawled around this breathtaking new biome, I came across an abandoned book that contained information about the destruction spell that Necromancer Bryce had cast. A spell of destruction cast by a Necromancer must be confirmed with the sacrifice of an ice spider. For this reason, an ice spider that survives the casting of the spell can prevent the destruction of the world by being at the center of a spell of life. which is made to protect the world. I wasn't sure exactly what that meant, but it sounded like there was a way to turn the tide of destruction. I excitedly began to leave the Great Lake Isles when some more skeleton vanguards ambushed me to try and get me to be sacrificed.
Spider of Ice, Spider of Ice, the time has come for...
Yeah, sacrifice. You creeps must have followed me from the mountains. I used my iron sword and I pelted the mobs with ice blasts until they were all destroyed. From day 20 to day 22, I realized that my powers were far stronger now that I had grown into a bigger ice spider. I tested my mettle against some specters in the glowing ancient forest, chopping them down with my iron sword. They weren't that difficult to defeat, but the fact that they were here meant that bad omens were on the horizon. Dead becoming more common could be a sign of world destruction being on its way. I did some more mining for iron in the base cavern and grabbed enough ore to make the ingots for an iron chestplate. Now that I'm this much stronger, I bet I could stand up to the Icy Creeper. I returned to the Icy Creeper's lair in the gravelly mountains to confront the mob with my new abilities and gear.
Have you learned how cold the world is yet, Zozo?
No, I have learned that the world has good people in it that don't deserve to be frozen or destroyed. I fired my icy blast at the Icy Creeper, and this time, I was the one dealing damage. I had become a colder, more powerful being. Never freeze the gorilla or anyone else ever again.
All right, Zozo, I give. I'll be nice.
The Icy Creeper ran away, never to be mean again and never to be seen again. Upon driving away from that other ice mob, I saw a flashback to Bryce as a younger necromancer, just learning his first spells.
The world is a cold and cruel place. I know. I'll destroy it so nobody has to live in a cold, cruel world.
Guess he was similar to the Icy Creeper in a couple of ways. If only he knew that the world wasn't as cold and cruel as he thought it was. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the base, feeling victorious. I made a beeline for the gorilla to give him the good news. I taught that Icy Creeper a lesson he won't forget anytime soon. I promise you that you won't be having any trouble with him now.
Wow, you are one heroic ice spider, Zozo. I'm really checking my prejudices right now. Also, I made you a gift. In case you didn't notice it on the way in, I made a perimeter wall to defend the base.
Somehow, I totally had missed the perimeter wall. It was awesome and would do a great job at repelling the roving hordes of the undead. The base is well defended. Maybe now it's time to make sure my body is better defended. I went back to the mining cavern and collected up some more iron ore that I then took back to my base and smelted into iron ingots. I used these to make the rest of my armor set. You may not be able to see the armor on me, but believe me, it's there. From day 27 to day 31, I returned to the Great Lake Isles, wanting to make sure that I'd wiped out the Skeleton Vanguard Scourge completely. The more territory I can take back from the Necromancer Bryce, the less power and resources he has to complete his dark ritual. And it seems like my earlier work had paid off, because I couldn't see a Skeleton Vanguard anywhere. Instead, what I found was a large and smart-looking golem.
Hello there, good sir. Say, I've heard quite a bit about a certain ice spider lately. Your name wouldn't happen to be Zozo, would it?
That depends. What would you do if I was Zozo?
I'd congratulate you. I'm the librarian golem. I travel across the overworld, giving books to those who need them. And the skeleton vanguards working for that blasted necromancer had gotten in the way of my very important mission for far too long. If you are Zozo, then you are responsible for many needy people getting the books they so crave.
Well, in that case, I am Zozo. Why don't you come back to my base with me? You seem like you'd be a valuable ally.
Of course, as long as there's a place where I can read.
I returned to my base with the librarian golem and constructed a new room for him to sleep in. After completing it, I realized how dull and drab the base looked. It needed a personal touch. I harvested some wool from my sheep farm and turned them into a bunch of cool banners that I hung up around the different buildings of my base. Looking snazzy! But my joy was short-lived as Illusioner Alan ran in with frantic news.
Zozo, you need to come with me immediately. Windcaller Wendy is under attack.
From day 32 to day 35, Illusioner Alan and I ran as fast as we could to reach the campfire in the glowing ancient forest where the Windcaller liked to hang out. But by the time we arrived, it was already too late. A vicious gang of skeleton vanguards had already outnumbered and destroyed him. No!
We serve our master well. Everyone who attempts to defend you will be destroyed, Zozo. Nobody will stand in the way of your sacrifice. We will destroy this entire world.
Not if I have anything to say about it! Powered by pure rage, I went in there with all my weapons and powers and wiped out every single one of the skeleton vanguards. In the end, all that was left was myself and Illusioner Alan.
This is bad, Zozo. The Windcaller was a powerful mage and an asset to our operation. Now that she is gone, the danger grows significantly.
But we can't give up, Alan. If we give up, then nobody will stop Necromancer Bryce. We need to fight back against him with everything we have. From day 36 to day 39, I went out to the Gravelly Mountains to wander around and collect my thoughts. I was afraid about everything that had happened, but I couldn't show it in front of everyone who was working for me. Necromancer Bryce and his men are way more dangerous than I thought. My thoughts were interrupted when I ran into an incredibly strange creature, a melon golem, which I didn't even know was a thing.
What? You never see a melon golem before? You don't like melons or something?
No, I love melons. I've just never seen a melon golem before. I'm sorry if I've upset you. If you have a favor you need doing, I'd be happy to see to it and give you a hand.
Well, now that you mention it, there was an obsidian golem who was giving me some real trouble. Would you mind taking care of him before he hurts me or anyone else?
Of course, I'll get right to it. I turned on my invisibility powers and used it to search through the Gravelly Mountains until I discovered the obsidian golem. I used the element of surprise and approached him from behind, attacking him with everything I had. In the end, I managed to defeat him after a tough battle. Then I returned to the melon golem and told him that his bully was gone.
Hey, that's great news! I used to be able to trust the other golems, but a lot of them defected to the Necromancer Bryce, cause most of them are hardy enough to survive the cold.
So some golems are working with the Necromancer now? That's not good news.
You point out the obvious a lot, you know.
From day 40 to day 43, I returned back to my base, pleasantly surprised by some improvements that Illusioner Alan had made to the base.
Zozo, I've made very good friends with the librarian golem. He's a wonderful chap, and we've been doing lots of discussions around the arcane arts. So I installed a sizable collection of bookshelves and couches so he can really enjoy himself here.
It's incredibly wholesome that you two have become such good friends.
And he's not the only friend I'd like to stay here. I improved the base by adding a barracks, so I could invite more of my Illusioner friends. The more mages we have at the base, the easier it will be to defend you from the Necromancer.
That sounds like a good idea to me, Alan. Not long after, a small group of other Illusioners arrived, and I greeted them and escorted them to their rooms. Not long after, the librarian golem approached me with a new quest.
Zozo! As you may have heard on the grapevine, or perhaps the melon vine, some golems defected from the overworld and joined up with that dastardly necromancer. Two in particular are the Endstone Golem and the Netherite Golem out in the Great Lake Isles. Perhaps, if you're able to defeat him, it will weaken the necromancer's power in another territory.
That's an awesome idea, Librarian Golem. I'll set off immediately. From day 44 to day 49, I set off into the Great Lake Isles to find one of the evil golems that had been working for Necromancer Bryce. I want to reduce the power of the Necromancer's spell in whatever way that I can. I thought I saw the glow of magic from one of the islands and made a stealthy approach. To my surprise, it wasn't an Endstone Golem at all, but Necromancer Bryce himself. He was muttering something, so I got closer to hear what it was.
This pathetic world does not deserve mercy. It only deserves cold destruction, and my spell will be that destruction. Soon, the hastening will be upon us.
Couldn't let him stand there and say such terrible things. Take that back, you dastardly necromancer!
Oh, it's you. You're the ice spider that dares to defy me. It seems my undead have thus far been unable to sacrifice you.
Why do you need to sacrifice me so badly anyway? What's in it for you if the entire world is destroyed?
Destroying the entire world is a thankless job, but somebody has to do it. Anyway, I've got a brand new caliber of minion now. Prepare to meet my netherite golem.
The Necromancer Bryce vanished into a cloud of magical smoke, and in his place, a netherite golem rose to its full towering height.
Greetings. I am the netherite golem, and I will be sacrificing today.
The other golems told me that baddies like you were bad news. Put up your big netherite dukes, and let's have a good clean fight, said the spider to the golem. I ice blasted my opponent and scurried around, avoiding his attacks. I used my invisibility to sneak in close and attack with my iron sword. The netherite golem was very strong, and he managed to hit me a couple times, dealing many hearts of damage. But I had hearts to spare now, and this fight was far from over. From day 50 to day 53, we briefly stopped to talk.
You're going to be sacrificed, Ice Spider. I'm going to crack you like ice, and then squash you like a spider.
Oh yeah? Well, you're a netherite golem, and never mind, I can't think of anything. I fired off a couple of ice blasts. Then I used my iron sword to hit the netherite golem. With one more ice blast, I froze the netherite golem and brought the fight to a close with a sword strike. The netherite golem dispersed, leaving behind some mystical diamonds, which were stronger than any material I had gathered thus far. I better hang on to these so I can make a powerful tool out of these diamonds later. With the netherite golem defeated, I felt some of Necromancer Bryce's magic leaving the Great Lake Isles. From day 54 to day 57, I found the other evil golem that had chosen to serve Necromancer Bryce, the Endstone Golem, the exact golem that the library golem had sent me out to fight. This mean Endstone fighting machine was just as tough as the netherite golem I had fought before, so I knew I had to use similar strategies to take it down. Ice Spider Zozo, Golem Slayer! My invisibility proved to be a great way of avoiding attacks, and a mixture of Ice Blast and Iron Sword attacks sealed the deal! Both of the Golem defectors have been defeated now. I can feel the Great Lake Isles are peaceful now. I returned to my base in the glowing ancient forest so that I could tell the tale of my victory to the library golem.
Well done, Ice Spider Zozo. Without his golems, Necromancer Bryce has lost a major facet of his evil forces. The destruction of the entire world is that much closer to being avoided.
I'm just doing my part to stop the spell.
In anticipation of your return, I did some research into the original spellbooks that contain the destruction spell. It says that the ice spider needed for the spell must come from the Ice Spikes biome. Have you ever been there before, Zozo?
Not that I can recall, but if it's my homeland, maybe I can learn something more about the spell by going there someday. From day 58 to day 62, I used the mystical diamonds that had been dropped by the netherite golem to make myself a diamond sword. Once crafted, the librarian gave me a Frostwalker enchantment book to enchant my new diamond sword with frost. What a neat enchantment, and very fitting for an ice spider. I guess magic comes naturally to me. Because of my new sword, I was inspired to seek out more diamonds down in the mine. Using my iron pickaxe, I dredged up a few more diamonds and made myself a diamond pickaxe. I decided that was enough mining for now, and I came back to see that the living area looked much nicer, and there was even a brand new fireplace. Illusioner Alan was standing by the fireplace, feeling its warmth. It looks amazing here. Is this an illusion?
I'm always telling you, Zozo, magic can't do everything. These changes to the base are 100% real.
Wow, thanks, Alan.
Building this base was such a great idea. I really like living here, so I'm glad I could make it better for everyone.
From day 63 to day 66, I was doing some more diamond mining when the gorilla who lives in my base came to visit me.
Hey, Zozo! The librarian golem told me that you're originally from the Ice Spikes. I actually know how to get there.
You do? Well, that's great. I've been meaning to take a trip out there at some point.
I'll give you the directions. Maybe you'll find out if you've got any family out there.
Following the gorilla's directions, I made my way to the ice spikes. I didn't see any ice spiders, but maybe I would meet a friendly face if I looked around. But the first face I saw didn't appear to be that friendly. It was a mountaineer with a wicked gleam in his eyes. I'm warning you, buddy. You don't want to mess with this ice spider. I have the home field advantage.
I don't want to fight you. This gleam in my eye is the gleam of adventure. I'm Mountaineer Monty, and I'm looking to climb the tallest peak in the Ice Spikes.
The tallest peak? I bet I could see everything from up there. Count me in.
Perfect! With an ice spider helping me up, I'll be able to get to the top of the tallest peak in no time.
From day 67 to day 70, I joined Mountaineer Monty, and we both climbed around on the ice spikes together, searching for the tallest peak. How will we know if the ice spike that we're climbing is the tallest or not, Monty?
We won't know until we get to the top. Keep on crawling on these walls, Ice Spider.
We went higher and higher until we found a ledge on the side of an even taller peak. Could this be the one? That's when a leap leaf jumped down from the upper ledges and started to attack. I fired an ice blast at the mob, but it dodged away. This leap leaf was faster than I expected, so I'd have to outsmart it. I turned invisible and waited for the leap leaf to land on the ground. I dashed in and hit it with my diamond sword, dealing a bunch of damage. The moment it jumped, I fired an ice blast directly at it, defeating it for good. Mountaineer Monty was impressed with my win.
That was great! And also leap leaves only live on the tallest peak, so we must be there.
Let's keep on climbing so we can find out. Within a few minutes, we had risen to the top of the entire Ice Spikes biome. This was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in all my days as an ice spider.
Thank you for being here with me.
Down below, I saw what looked like the lair of a necromancer, a wicked and terrible base. Necromancer Bryce must be here in the Ice Spikes. Did he find me here? From day 71 to day 74, I descended the peak of the tallest mountain and began to travel through the ice spikes in the direction of the evil lair. I never expected my history with Bryce would go back so far. I need to find out why his lair is here, what happened to the other ice spiders, and of course, how I can save the world from destruction. And if you want to help me save the world, remember to search ZOZO to find more of my adventures. Make sure to tell me what you want me to play as next. Down at the base of the mountain, I wandered through a snowy blizzard, only to be confronted by Necromancer Bryce.
You've returned home, Ice Spider Zozo, but it's not your home anymore. It's my home, and soon there will be nobody home in the entire world.
Your destruction spell will never work, Bryce. Not as long as I survive without being sacrificed. I drew my sword and turned invisible, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Necromancer Bryce only laughed. He was not threatened by me at all.
Foolish Zozo! You don't understand what it means that I am here in the ice spikes. It means that I've already sacrificed another ice spider. My spell is secure.
I froze in place, not from the cold, but from the shock of what Bryce had said. No, you already sacrificed an ice spider, you evil monster! Bryce turned toward the spell and blasted me with a powerful spell that took off almost all of my heart. He was about to fire off another, so I ran away as fast as I could. From day 75 to day 78, I scurried back to the base and immediately shut myself away in the coldest room of the base. I had failed. The whole point of going to the ice spikes was to learn more about my origin. But now, I had learned something that made me feel completely hopeless. The entire world really was going to be destroyed, and there was nothing I could do to stop it.
Never say never, Zozo.
It was the librarian golem. They had come to visit me in my time of regret. But all of the other ice spiders are gone. Necromancer Bryce sacrificed them.
I don't think that's exactly what has happened, Zozo. Bryce was trying to catch you off guard so he could sacrifice you. He still needs you for his place, and when he comes for you, we'll be ready.
The librarian golem showed me a watchtower that had been installed on the base. It would be an ideal countermeasure to any intruding undead sent by Bryce. Thanks, library golem. And you're right, the world isn't doomed yet. Later on, I consulted Illusioner Alan to see what magical spells he had been working on during my travels.
Zozo, I have used all of my magic to create this Kaitha. It is a weapon that will make you unstoppable in battle.
Thank you. That's exactly what I need. The moment I took the Kyther, I felt a great surge of power within me. I grew into the ultimate ice spider, the true king of the ice spikes. I had 100 hearts and the ability to warp short distances, combining that ability with my invisibility to really catch enemies off guard. From day 79 to day 84, I made my way back to the ice spikes, trusting that the transformation brought on by Illusioner Alan's spell would give me the ultimate power, and that the library golem wasn't wrong about there being more to learn about my past. In my mighty ice spider form, nothing in the ice spikes could rival my strength. Some specters tried to swoop down and challenge me, but I effortlessly destroyed them with my ice blasts. I traveled some more through the cold biome of the ice spikes, eventually finding an Icologer native to this region. Hello there, Icologer.
Please, call me Icologer Ike. It's quite nice to meet a spider of ice. There used to be a lot more of you protecting the ice spikes.
So I've heard. That was before the necromancer sacrificed them.
Oh, there was no sacrifice. Your ancestors fought against him bravely, down to the last spider. I kept one of their helmets too. You should have it.
Ike gave me a diamond helmet, which I proudly equipped. I guess there really was more to the story than I thought. From day 85 to day 89, my base was attacked by the skeleton vanguard. I arrived just in time to fend them off with weapons and ice blasts.
Spider of ice, the time has come for sacrifice.
Ha! That confirms it! You still need a sacrifice, and I'm the last spider standing. You'll never take me out. With the confidence I had developed in my ultimate ice spider form, I demolished the skeleton vanguard one by one, until the last of them went running back to the ice spikes.
Spider of ice, your sacrifice will now be done by Necromancer Bryce.
I'd like to see him try. I chased the skeleton vanguard to the edge of my base, where he kept running onward. It was there that I met a fungus thrower, who was standing next to a dugout pool of water.
Oh please, Ice Spider Zozo! My swimming pool is way too warm! Can you provide an ice blast to cool it off?
Why certainly, my fungus-throwing friend. I shot the pool with an ice blast, freezing it over. Oops, sorry, now it's more of an ice rink.
No, I like this better. I'll call my friends and we'll play some hockey.
From day 90 to day 94, I followed the skeleton vanguard through the ice spikes all the way to the necropolis where Necromancer Bryce would be waiting for me.
Bryce, we need your advice!
As the skeleton vanguard approached the necropolis, it was obliterated by an attack from an armored pillager.
Never send a skeleton to do my job.
And what is your job?
Killing spiders by the dozen. Me and the rest of my pillager crew fought the ice spiders in this area back when they dared to defy Necromancer Bryce.
You mean that it was you who wiped out all the rest of the ice spiders, and you're working for Bryce? I'm going to freeze on you! I fired several ice blasts, but the armored pillager tanked them all and hit me with the same powerful attack they'd used to destroy the skeleton vanguard. It dealt a decent amount of damage, so I warped away to avoid taking more.
I faced many ice spiders just as big as you.
But you've never faced me! Gathering my courage, I warped back and swung my diamond sword into the armored pillager, returning the damage I took and then some. From day 95 to day 97, the armored pillager still wouldn't let up, and I was starting to see that his claims of taking down all the other ice spiders wasn't all talk. My ice blasts weren't very effective, so I mostly relied on my sword strikes to deal damage. My warp and invisibility powers helped me dodge most of the armored pillager's attacks so that I could hold onto my hearts.
Why can't you let me crush you like those other worthless ice spiders?
It's time you learned that those lives you trampled were never worthless. I warped all around the armored pillager and barraged him with sword attacks until he collapsed at long last.
Darn it, you have beaten me. Truth is, you spiders fought very well. I was the only survivor among the pillagers.
If you lost everyone too, why are you being such a mean guy about it? We could have talked this out.
Necromancer Bryce was going to destroy the world anyway. We thought we had to listen to him, or he'd destroy us first. That Bryce is ruthless beyond anything you've seen. After he hired us pillagers to wipe out the spiders, he had them save one remaining ice spider egg so that he could use the ice spider that hatched for his destruction spell. That ice spider must have been you.
The armored pillager died, leaving behind a key to the lair. At that moment, I realized I had avenged my people. Well, almost. Bryce stole me away, planned to use me for his spell, and destroy the world I've only now come to know. I will stop him! On day 98, I returned to the base to heal my injuries from the battle with the armored pillager. So much had happened since I started my journey, and we were only a couple days from the day that the destruction spell would end the world. But the words that carried me all this way still rang in my ears. As long as I survive, it isn't over. I spoke to the librarian Golem, who was also hopeful about our chances of stopping the destruction spell.
No sacrifice was made, and if you defeat Bryce, he'll never be able to cast another destruction spell. This could be your chance to save the entire world.
I will do it, for the world and for all the ice spiders that fought bravely against him. I wanted to make sure the powers of my magically induced final form were stable, so I went to Illusioner Alan to confirm. Your magical Kyther seems to be working, Alan.
Oh, Zozo, what have I always said? Magic can't do everything. You took that form on your own. My great illusion was convincing you that my weapon was the reason.
Wow, I didn't expect that. You truly are a skilled illusioner, Alan. But I didn't leave the base without any new gear. The gorilla made sure I had full diamond armor for the battle with Necromancer Bryce.
You're a hero, Ice Spider Zozo. I really wish I could have met more ice spiders.
As long as there's a world, there's a way. I'll make sure the world is safe after I stop Bryce.
Go get that evil creep. Remember the path I showed you through the Gravelly Mountains.
On day 99, I was traveling through the Gravelly Mountains toward the ice spikes on my way to the showdown with Necromancer Bryce. I was intercepted by a whole bunch of skeleton vanguards who seemed really eager to sacrifice me as always. Bryce really rolled out the welcome mat early, huh?
Spider of ice, must we say it thrice? It has to be time for your sacrifice.
Even though my strength, my hearts, my gear, and my magic all surpassed theirs, the skeleton vanguards descended on me in great numbers. They're slowing me down. I won't be able to reach Bryce by the day of destruction. I had to retreat as quickly as I could. That's when I ran into the Mountaineer, and he wanted to fight those nasty skeletons for me so I could take down the big boss who started it all.
Go on now, Ice Spider. We climbed the tallest peak together. Now face your greatest challenge with pride.
On day 100, I used the key to the lair and entered the inner sanctum of Necromancer Bryce.
The day of destruction is at hand, and here you are, allowing yourself to be sacrificed.
There will be no sacrifice and no destruction. We traded a series of blasts, his necromancy blast and my ice blast. We each took a bit of damage, then I turned invisible. You crushed my people, but I'm taking back the ice spikes and the entire world from your evil.
You would fight to protect a world that took away your family?
The world didn't do that, Necromancer Bryce. That was you! I reappeared and attacked his blind spot with my diamond sword. He began charging up his most powerful spell yet. It was the same spell he almost defeated me with the last time we fought. Necromancer Bryce let the spell of doom fly at me. I waited until the very last second, then I used my warp ability to move out of the way and appear right behind him. You missed me, and now it's over for you. I swung my diamond sword repeatedly with all my might, destroying the Necromancer before he could destroy anything else. This world would live on, and so would I. On day 1, I was laying in the sand. I stood up to find I was a person stranded on the beach of an ocean world. Whoa, this is a crazy place. I wonder who I am. It looks like maybe I'm a sailor who got stranded around here. But I didn't have time to think about who I was because a freaky-looking drowned came crawling out of the ocean and shambling towards me across the beach. Stay back, I don't want any trouble.
You survived the wreck. The King of the Deep won't be happy. We can't deny him his catch.
King of the Deep? What are you talking about? I don't understand.
Then let me help you understand. It'll all make more sense underneath the water. It's so inviting.
The drowned started walking towards me. It seemed like he wanted me to get drowned too. In my panic, I hit him, and it knocked him back way further than I was expecting. Whoa, I must have knockback power on my attacks. Whoever I am, I must be someone strong. But the undead aren't that easy to beat. The drowned continued walking toward me. I really didn't want to risk getting dragged into the deep, so instead, I turned and ran off further down the beach. King of the Deep? That guy sounds like trouble, especially if he's in the business of wrecking boats and drowning people. Didn't have long to mull over the details. As I was making my way across the beach, I was suddenly attacked by a vicious husk who looked intent on doing me harm. This time, rather than try to fight, I decided to just run away. I had too few hearts to risk losing them like this. Eventually, I found a shady patch where I could sit down and rest for the night. Hopefully, nothing would attack me there. King of the Deep. I hope I don't run into that guy. On day 2, I got up and got to work. If I was a sailor, I knew that I needed to be practical and no nonsense. It was time to get out there and make myself some tools. It didn't take me long to find a good clutch of palm trees on the beach, which I used my powerful punches to knock them down and turn the wood into a basic wooden pickaxe. I used my wooden pickaxe to mine enough stone for my first set of stone gear. A stone sword, axe, pickaxe, and shovel. Not a bad start. While exploring the beach, I came upon a stranded toolsmith. Somehow, he looked strangely familiar, so I approached him.
Zozo, so good to see you. I was worried for a while that I was the only one who survived the wreck. Those tides were brutal.
Oh, so this must have been one of my fellow sailors. Truth be told, I don't remember much of what happened.
That's not surprising. I think I remember seeing you take a nasty bump to the head while we were all scrambling around. That's probably why your recollection is a bit fuzzy.
Explains a lot. I'm starving too. Do you have any food?
Sure, take some of these rations.
He gave me some food, which I quickly ate to replenish my hunger bar. Finally, things were looking up for me. Do you know anything about this King of the Deep guy? His goons are already giving me trouble, and I figure he's got something to do with the big crash.
Your guess is as good as mine, pal. But if you do find him, give him one in the face for me.
On day 3, I went off in search of a decent place to build myself a basic base. I've always wanted a beachside property. I just never expected it to happen under such weird circumstances. I cut down some more palm trees and started building myself a nice wooden shack on the beach. It wasn't very defensible yet, but at this stage, I really only needed somewhere cozy to get myself out from under the beach's blistering hot sun. I took a break for a while and looked out over the vast ocean. The ocean that I somehow knew covered most of the planet. And somewhere out there in all that water, the King of the Deep was waiting. I need to get off this planet as soon as possible, before things get dangerous. And as if on cue, a vicious Vex emerged in the distance and came running at me. In sheer panic, I pulled out my stone sword and fought for my life. By the time the fight was done, only I remained. The battle with the Vex gave me enough XP to level up and get bigger and stronger. With 15 hearts and a new enchantment, the Frostwalker, which lets me walk on water by freezing it under my feet. At least I can handle myself. That's a plus in this crazy ocean world. For the rest of the day, I worked on my beachside shack. At least one part of this new situation could be nice and relaxing. From day 4 to day 5, I continued gathering materials to expand my shack. There were thankfully a decent number of trees that I could cut down for wood. I just finished collecting a bunch of wood when suddenly I saw a hauntingly familiar sight. It was the drowned I'd seen early on, walking right towards me. Oh no, not you again!
Do you fear the water, Zozo? If you do, then I'm sorry to say, you may be on the wrong planet.
You don't have to tell me that!
The king awaits your attendance, Zozo. You shouldn't be afraid. Things are much better down where it's wetter. I'll take you to him.
The drowned advanced towards me, but this time I was going to finish it. I pulled out my stone sword and attacked the drowned relentlessly, each one of my strikes doing bonus knockback damage. Soon enough, the drowned was defeated and destroyed. King of the Deep wants an audience with me? He better come and talk to me himself. And with that, I returned to my base. From day 6 to day 8, I managed to find a rare above water cave. It was exactly the kind of thing I needed to upgrade my gear, in case I ended up encountering any bigger threats. While down in the cave, I decided to construct a furnace. It seemed like a wiser choice than having it out there in the open. The deeper I went into the cave, the darker and colder it got. That's when I came across a vein of iron ore in the ground and mined it. I returned to the furnace straight after and started smelting. Soon enough, I had an iron sword and an iron pickaxe on my hands. I also made myself some iron boots and an anvil. Now I can enchant my boots with frostwalking. This is more like it. It feels good to finally be properly equipped. Couldn't have done it at a better time because a zombified piglin immediately rampaged through the cave towards me. Luckily, with my iron sword, it wasn't difficult to deal with the zombified piglin and move on, feeling more confident than ever. From day 9 to day 10, I decided I needed some stone, so I ventured out across the Dead Sea, where there were huge stone structures. This will be the perfect place to mine some consequence-free stone for expanding my base without tearing up the whole beach. With my Frostwalker powers, I walked across the surface of the sea, and I used my iron pickaxe to start cutting stone from the structures. I collected a fair bit of stone when I turned to start heading back, but I suddenly got a terrible feeling. And the reason for that terrible feeling became obvious when I saw a terrifying water elemental rising from the water. Oh no, I think I know who you are.
Yes, I'm glad that you recognize my energy, dear Zozo, as I recognize yours. I am His Highness, the King of the Deep. You almost came to stay with me, you know, but you rejected my gift. How very ungrateful of you.
You're lying. You're a liar. I know that nothing good awaits me down there in the deep. I reject your offer. I ran forward and struck him with the sword. It did nothing. He wasn't harmed in the slightest. I struck again and again. Nothing. I knew that if I was there for a second longer, he might have dragged me down. I got into the boat as fast as I could and rowed until the King of the Deep was gone, and I was back on the safe, dry shore. Yeah, I really don't like that guy. That much is now officially confirmed. I turned and saw something charging across the shore towards me. A huge mutated bee. For a second, I panicked, but before I could attack, it started to speak.
Zozo, thank goodness. You survived the shipwreck.
I'm sorry, who are you?
You don't remember me? I'm First Mate Benson. We're good friends. You really must have hit your head hard during the wreck.
Yeah, I've heard that much. Say, why don't you come back to my base with me? I need to get a better sense of what we're up against here.
You've got a base? Sweet, let's go!
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with Benson. Seeing as my base wasn't that big yet, I decided I needed to make it bigger. I started from scratch and built a newer, bigger version of my home. I also built Benson a whole new room, which thankfully wasn't that difficult with all the resources I'd been collecting. Take a load off, Benson. I've got an important errand to run.
Sure thing, Zozo. Let me know if you need anything. Oh, and take this bow and arrows. You might need it.
Benson gave me a bow. Benson, I'm sure this will come in handy. I left back into that same mining cave I'd visited all that time before. I searched until I found another rich vein of iron ore. I mined enough and started heading back toward the cave furnace I'd built above, when I saw something frightening. A skeleton jackal wandering through the cave. I'm really lucky that Benson gave me that bow. Trying to stay as quiet as possible, I pulled out the bow and unleashed a volley onto the skeleton jackal. It was defeated before it even knew I was there. Phew, that was a close one. I then proceeded to the furnace and smelted myself some more protection in the form of an iron chestplate, leggings, and a helmet. It never hurts to have some extra defense when you're going against a strong foe. From day 13 to day 15, Benson and I made a campfire outside the base and decided to spend the night standing out on the beach, watching the ocean and discussing our plans for the future. This isn't going to be easy, Benson. I faced this king of the deep directly, and nothing I did could even hurt him. How did he get us down here in the first place?
Well, it was our ship, you see.
Right, yeah. We were sailing and then it crashed. I know that much.
No, Zozo, it wasn't that kind of ship. It was a spaceship. We were flying through the sector, then suddenly the spaceship got a strange signal from this planet. The captain got obsessed with it, insisted on taking us down here. But when we entered the atmosphere, the captain drove the ship straight down into the water, like he was in a trance. I think the king of the deep, he took over his mind with the signal. He's the reason we're all here.
Great, so he's even more powerful and dangerous than I'd thought. If he could take down our whole ship with his thoughts, then I don't know how we're gonna have any hope of beating him.
I don't think we have a choice, Zozo. We've just gotta try, come what may.
From day 16 to day 19, I woke up with the base feeling eerily quiet. I checked Benson's room, only to find that he wasn't there. But he left a note. It read,
Zozo, I've headed out to the deep frozen ocean. I think there might be some valuable secrets there.
And if there really were valuable secrets out there, I didn't want Benson to have to face them alone. I immediately went out and headed for the deep frozen ocean. Thankfully, because the water had already frozen over, I didn't even need my enchantment here. I just walked around, looking for Benson, when suddenly, an angry-looking zombie spoiner jumped out.
Well, you finally arrived. I suppose you're looking for your buzzy friend.
What did you do to him?
I gave him a nice little nap under the ice. It's very refreshing down there.
You monster! I'll break him out!
There's no escape for you or him. This is what happens to those who defy the king of the deep.
The zombie spoiner attacked me, but I had no time for his ridiculousness today. I ran in with my iron sword and destroyed him as quickly as I could. My true priority was saving Benson. As I walked, I saw something under the ice. It was Benson. I took my iron pickaxe and smashed some of the ice over the water. That's when Benson, thankfully alive, floated up and jumped out of the water.
Zozo, you saved my life. How could I ever repay you?
By staying alive and staying safe from now on. Head back to the base. I'm gonna look around for a while longer.
Will do, Zozo.
Benson left, and I continued my search across the icy surface of the deep frozen ocean. During my search, I encountered a few husks that were easy enough to dispatch, but didn't find any useful information. Just when I was about to give up, though, a strange figure emerged. It was the King Pig.
You seek to defeat the king of the deep.
What? How did you…
I know many things, my son. If you wish to defeat the king, you will need to obtain the Shield of the Deep. It is the only way.
But how can I find…
Some answers you must discover for yourself. Good luck on your quest, Zozo.
Before I could say another word, the King Pig disappeared just as quickly and strangely as he'd arrived. From day 20 to day 22, I returned to my base, only to see a couple of husks wandering across the beach, looking for new victims. This beach has a major husk problem. I guess it's up to me to solve it. I used my bow to pick the husks off from a distance without the risk of engaging directly. I didn't want to risk losing any more hearts without a good reason. Once the husks were gone, I returned to my base and found First Mate Benson waiting for me.
Zozo! I have some good news for you. While you were gone, I've been working on a statue. Something that I figured would motivate us to do our best, you know? You always said that motivation is extremely important.
A statue, huh? I'll go take a look at it. Be right back. I went to investigate behind my base and saw that Benson had made some amazing progress on the statue already. It was truly a sight to see. I'm feeling more inspired already. Can you guess what the statue is gonna be yet? If you can, tell me down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you want more Minecraft adventures from Zozo. From day 23 to day 26, I was hanging out at my base when suddenly a group of nasty-looking drowned approached me. The rest of the group stood back while one stepped forward to talk to me.
The king of the deep awaits your visit. He grows impatient, Zozo.
Well, he should come up here and tell me that himself. Get away from my base.
Why waste your time up on the land? Water is inevitable. The tide washes away all eventually. Why not just give up? Let the ocean current carry you down to your fate.
Stop saying creepy stuff. I'm getting sick of it. I pulled out my bow and fired at the drowned, taking them out one by one. It took a little while, but luckily with my bow, I was able to attack them without getting too close. The last thing I wanted was for them to grab me and drag me down into the water. When all the drowned were defeated, I noticed that one of them dropped something. I went to get a closer look, and it was spears. Wow, these will be great for fighting if anyone else attacks me. Now I've got to test them out. To try out my new spears, I headed out to the Dead Sea in search of some mobs I could fight. I didn't find any, but I did practice throwing my spears anyway, and I got pretty good at it. While I was practicing, a fisherman came up to me.
Are you Zozo?
I sure am. Wait, you're not with the King of the Deep, are you?
No, matey. I'm trying to hide from him. He wants me brought in as a prisoner. Do you know a safe place where I could stay?
I sure do. I brought the fisherman back to my base with me, and I built him a room so he'd have a comfortable place to sleep.
Thank you. What a lovely room. Quite cozy, but I will not complain. Having a safe space to live means a lot.
No problem. Hope you'll enjoy your stay. From day 27 to day 31, I started trying to figure out where I could find the Shield of the Deep. Hey fisherman, have you ever heard of the Shield of the Deep?
Shield of the Deep? Oh, Zozo, my lad, I've heard tell of that very shield. Legend has it, the shield is found in the darkest, coldest part of the ocean, far from the sun's light or the eyes of man.
So like the deep frozen ocean then?
Aye.
Cool, I guess I'll go check it out. I traveled to the deep frozen ocean and looked for any signs of the shield. Brr, frozen is right. I tried to keep walking, but a piglin brute was blocking my path. Hey, excuse me, just trying to get by.
If the shield you wish to see, then you will have to go through me.
Well, okay, if you insist. I battled the piglin brute and managed to knock him down. I didn't destroy him, but I bought myself enough time to run by and get away. From day 32 to day 35, I kept wandering through the deep frozen ocean. As I explored, I spotted a sea serpent taking a nap. I didn't want to wake him up, but there wasn't anyone else to ask. Sorry to bother you, but do you know where I can find the Shield of the Deep?
Huh? No, sorry, I don't know her.
No, it's not a person, a shield. Like, you know, a shield for fighting?
Shield? No, still don't know it.
That's okay, I'll keep looking. I left the sea serpent and carried on exploring the area.
Looking for something, Zozo?
The King of the Deep suddenly appeared. I tried to fight the King of the Deep, but he was still way too strong. If I try to keep this up, there's no way I'll make it. All I could do was turn and run until the king was out of sight. On the way, I ran into the sea serpent again.
Was that the King of the Deep? We both need to get out of here. Follow me.
With that, I ran off as the sea serpent slithered with me.
Can I stay with you for a while, though? Now that guy knows where I live, I'm scared he'll come back.
Sure, come back to my base. From day 36 to day 39, the sea serpent and I headed back to the base. Once we were there, I built a room for him to stay in. After I finished, he came to talk to me.
Wait a second, did you ask me something about the Shield of the Deep? I remember it now. I was pretty sleepy before, my memory wasn't great. But my grandma used to talk about some kind of special shield. I think it may be the one that you're looking for. There's a clue waiting in the frozen ocean. That's what Mima always used to say.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
No problem. Oh, also, I saw that statue you've got going on. I added a bit to it. Can you take a look and make sure I got it right?
I followed the sea serpent to the statue, and it was really starting to look great. You did an awesome job. From day 40 to day 43, I wanted to find a way to upgrade my weapons and armor. I decided to ask the fisherman for some advice. Any idea where I can find some upgrades?
Zozo, me boy, you came to the right place. I've learned more about upgrades than there are fish in the sea, and thankfully for my job security, that's a lot. You can find some upgrade materials in yonder cave.
Well, I don't know what a yonder is, but I do know of a cave. Thanks. I headed to the cave, but the entrance was blocked by a gorgon. I had to think fast to take it down, but with the use of my spears, I was able to defeat it. Inside the cave, I found diamonds. Tons of them. Perfect, that fisherman was right. I took the diamonds back to my base and used them to craft a diamond pickaxe and a diamond sword. Now I feel like I'm ready for just about anything. From day 44 to day 49, I took my new diamond weapons and headed to the frozen ocean. Let's see if I can find that clue Mima Sea Serpent was talking about. As I was walking, I was ambushed by a dread knight. He was really strong, but my diamond sword was stronger. With some careful dodging and a few swipes of my sword, I managed to beat him. But before I could get back to looking for clues, I heard a voice.
Help! Someone help!
followed the sound and saw a black hippogriff surrounded by husks. Oh no, I'll save you! I rushed at the husks and slayed them one by one with my trusty diamond sword.
Thank you, stranger. I thought I for sure was a goner.
I'm Zozo. There, I'm not a stranger anymore.
I'm Hilly the hippogriff. What brings you to these parts?
I'm looking for the Shield of the Deep.
Oh goodness, are you trying to take on the King of the Deep? Legend has it's the only shield that can protect against him.
I am.
I may have an idea of how to find it. There's a wise old ice dragon nearby. He can point us in the right direction.
From day 50 to day 53, I followed Hilly to the domain of the ice dragon. As we traveled there, the piglin brute from before jumped in front of us.
So, it appears we meet again. It's time for you to meet your end.
Geez, not this guy. But this time, with my new upgraded sword, I was strong enough to defeat him for good. Let's find that dragon. We explored for a while and then came to a house with an old ice dragon sitting out in front.
Oh, visitors. Don't get many visitors these days.
Hi, I'm Zozo. I heard you might know where I can find the Shield of the Deep.
Oh, yes, the shield. Well, last I heard, it was being hoarded by a mutant hoglin. Really mean fellow. I'm not sure where he's keeping it, though.
Mutant hoglin? That's more than I knew before. Thanks for your help. From day 54 to day 57, I returned to my base to figure out what to do next. When I got there, I saw my friends had been adding onto it while I was gone. They added some guard towers, some shelves, and some banners. This place looks great. The guard tower will keep us safe, the barrels add storage, and the banners look so cool. Thanks, everyone.
No trouble at all.
While I was checking everything out, the mutated bee came up to me.
Zozo, can you help me destroy the Dread Scuttler? She's causing so much turmoil and trouble, and I'm scared she won't stop unless a hero stops her for good.
I'm on it. The Dread Scuttler was pretty close by, so it didn't take me long to find her. Luckily for me, she didn't stand much of a chance against my spear. After I was done, I went back to the base. She won't bother anyone anymore.
Thank you. I made this for you while you were gone, as a thanks.
Wow, a diamond helmet. This will go great with my sword. Thank you. From day 58 to day 62, I was woken up by the mutated bead.
Zozo, sorry to wake you, but come look. We've been working on the statue.
I followed the bee to check out the progress everyone had made. This looks great. I can't wait to see it when it's done. While I was checking out the statue, I heard a noise behind me. I turned around, and there was a huge swarm of drowned surrounding my base. Oh no, get out of here.
Not until you join us, until you take your rightful place. No use fighting the tide, Zozo.
No! I fought the drowned one by one, but there were so many of them. Before I could stop them, they knocked the fisherman to the ground. I defeated the rest of the drowned, but it was too late. The fisherman was gone. I won't let them get away with this. From day 63 to day 66, I returned to the frozen ocean. I'm more determined than ever. They hurt my friend. This is personal now. Well, even more personal than it was before. As I was exploring, I stumbled on a book. Hey, Book of Maritime History. I wonder what that means. I opened the book and started to read. It says the Shield of the Deep is hidden on the beach. That must be where the mutant hoglin took it. As I was reading, a drowned snuck up behind me and attacked me. But I was quick, and I got my sword ready and fought back. Pretty soon, he was toast, and I was ready to continue my search. From day 67 to day 70, I traveled to the beach to look for the Shield of the Deep. Oh hey, I recognize this place. I've got a pretty good feeling about this.
Who goes there?
Uh-oh, I forgot about the mutant hoglin. He was huge, and he looked really strong. But if I wanted to get that shield, I had no choice but to fight him. Any chance you'll let me go by and get that shield?
Nope. Draw your sword and battle me.
So I did. Jeez, he's really tough. I'm not sure I'll be able to beat him. I fell back until I could barely see the beast in the distance. To my surprise, a drowned ran up, but he didn't attack.
Be not afraid. I'm not here for you this time, Zozo. I'm here to destroy this worthless hoglin.
What?
We both have an interest in retrieving the shield.
I stood back out of the way as the drowned fought the mutant hoglin. Eventually, the hoglin picked up the shield and ran away as the drowned chased after him. Well, that was interesting. From day 71 to day 74, I headed to the mutant hoglin's beach base to find that shield. But when I got there, I didn't see anything except for a note on the ground. Hey, what's this say? I picked it up. It says, "Foolish little Zozo, you can't outmaneuver the King of the Deep. The shield is mine, and you will never get your filthy surface-dwelling hands on it." That's so rude, not to mention evil. I left the base. From day 75 to day 78, I headed back to my base to come up with the new plan. If I can't get the shield, what am I gonna do? When I got back to the base, I saw my friends waiting for me. Boy, am I glad to see you. The sea serpent approached me.
We made some improvements. Check it out. We added an armory.
And then Private Benson came over.
And I made us a lowrider pool.
That's a nice ride. Really awesome. Thank you guys. But it wasn't just friendly faces, sadly.
Come out and face me, Vandal!
The mutant Hoglin had followed me home. This time, I have to defeat him. I drew my sword and attacked. It was a pretty close call, but after a hard fight, I was finally able to beat him. I felt myself getting stronger. My hearts increased to 40, and I gained an ability, an ice blast that fired freezing blasts at my enemies. This is awesome! Hey, look at this! There was a note that the mutant Hoglin dropped. It says Dead Sea. I'll go check it out. From day 79 to day 84, I traveled to the Dead Sea to look for anything important that I didn't notice the first time. Let's see what I can find. As I was looking around, I spotted an ice dragon. Hi, are you the same ice dragon I met before?
Don't think so. I've never seen you. But is there any chance you're here looking for a way to defeat the King of the Deep?
I am.
Me too. Let's work together. I've heard he's got a base somewhere on the beach, but I need help finding a map to it. Come with me.
Okay. I joined the new ice dragon in exploring, but I wasn't sure what we were looking for. I walked ahead of him when I suddenly heard a noise behind me. I turned and saw the ice dragon getting ready to attack me. Hey, what gives?
I tricked you. I'm working with the King of the Deep, you fool.
Oh no. What he didn't count on was my new strength and my ice blast. Before long, I was able to defeat him. Can't believe that guy tried to trick me, but at least I have some more information. From day 85 to day 89, I decided to go back and visit the Black Hippogriff and see if he had any more helpful information for me. When I reached the frozen ocean, I headed to his house. Hi again.
Zozo, welcome back. How's the quest to defeat the King of the Deep going?
Well, I've been trying to get the Shield of the Deep, but he got to it first. Now I don't know what to do.
Oh no. Well, I might have an idea for you on how you can get it back. The King of the Deep is a water elemental, so he's vulnerable to ice attacks. If you have any way to freeze him, that could slow him down long enough for you to steal the shield back.
Wait, I have Ice Blast. That's perfect. Thank you so much.
Happy to help. Good luck, Zozo.
From day 90 to day 94, I decided to gather some materials to upgrade my gear before I finally went to confront the King of the Deep. So I headed back to the cave to see what else I could find. Oh hey, a chest! I wonder what's in here. I opened the chest, and it contained a netherite ingot. Whoa, this stuff is pretty rare. I gathered up the netherite ingot and approached the smithing table next to the chest. I added the ingot to my diamond sword to create a netherite sword. This is amazing! If I can get my hands on the shield, I'm sure I can use this to win! From day 95 to day 97, I took my new sword back to my base. When I got there, my friends were waiting for me. Check out my new sword.
That's great! We have something to show you, too. The statue is almost done, but we wanted you to put in the last 2 pieces.
I followed them to the almost finished statue. Private Benson gave me the last 2 gold blocks to put into place. When I was done, I took a step back and got a good look at it. Wow, it's King Neptune! This is amazing! Looking up at this statue of the real King of the Ocean, not that bully of a water elemental, it reminds me what I'm fighting for. Thank you so much for building it. On day 98, I was preparing to head out and finally face the King of the Deep for our final battle. As I was getting ready, the mutated bee came to talk to me.
Zozo, I've been thinking. I want to come help you with this fight. You shouldn't have to face the king alone.
Are you sure? It's gonna be dangerous.
What's life without a little danger? It'll be worth it.
Thank you. On the way out of the base, I ran into the sea serpent again.
I'll be here waiting for you guys when you get back. I know you'll win. You're a hero, Zozo. You're always having amazing adventures on this channel, and if you want to see more of Zozo's adventures in Minecraft, make sure to subscribe.
Thank you, that really means a lot. On day 99, the mutated bee and I traveled to the King of the Deep's base on the beach. There were a lot of husks guarding the entrance, but the mutated bee kept them busy while I ran inside. There were more husks inside the base, but I was ready for them. I blasted them with my ice blast and fought them with my netherite sword. Gotta keep going and find that shield. It must be in here somewhere. On day 100, I continued fighting my way into the King of the Deep's base. I fought the husks on the walls, and after defeating them, my hearts increased to 80, and I gained the energy blast ability. Great, now all I need is that shield.
You mean this shield?
I turned around and saw the shield, but it was being guarded by a big, powerful drowned. Hand that shield over.
Never! It belongs to the king now, as all things soon will. The oceans will rise and claim the land, and all who walk upon its shores.
Not if I have anything to say about it. I fired an energy blast at the drowned, then followed it with a blast from my ice blast, and finished him off with my sword. Finally, the shield of the deep! I'm ready! I grabbed the shield and made my way down to the king's throne room. I opened the door, and he was there waiting for me. Before I could attack, he started to transform. He grew bigger and stronger, evolving into a much more powerful version of himself. You don't scare me!
No? Well, I should. Your defeat shall be swift.
I fired my ice blast at the King of the Deep, freezing him long enough for me to attack with my sword. He knocked me back with a hard hit, but the shield protected me from the damage, as well as giving him a harming effect from the spikes. We continued fighting for a while. I used all the abilities I had. The energy blast, my shield, the ice blast. After a lot of fighting, I felt a surge of power, and my hearts increased to 100, and I felt myself getting stronger. I knew I could beat him. I shot my ice blast, trapping him, and with one more swipe of my sword, defeated him! Time to wave goodbye to the King of the Deep. Get it? Wave? Like the ocean?